Get the sauce.
Yo, what's up? Happy Friday to all. Coming off a Thursday where I pretty much broke even yesterday because I had a nice little MLB night. I went 2-1 in the MLB, and one of my wins was a plus 135 Chicago White Sox money line. So that was lovely. But I lost both my NBA bets. So I probably did lose a few dollars on the night. But you know what? I wasn't feeling crazy about last night's NBA games. I think I even said that. I didn't bet them that heavy. So we got a pretty loaded Friday night. We got 2 NHL playoff games, 2 NBA playoff games, and then 15 MLB games on tonight. So a lot to get through. So let's go ahead and start it up. We got Florida at Boston. First of all, do you want to make a statement about the Carolina Hurricanes?
Yeah, I mean, once again, they outplayed them. They had almost 50 shots on goal. They looked a lot better, and they still lost. So, like, I don't know what to do with this team. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I think they should have won, but it's like that the results just aren't there. They're down 3-0. Like, the series is over. It's crazy. But yeah, Igor, like, he just stood on his head, of course. Like, he's fucking God himself. So there's nothing you can do about that. So yeah, moving on. Yeah, so for this first game, I like the under here, 5.5, minus 114. Both games 1 and 2 have gone over, but it's in each one it was just one team contributing everything. The Panthers won 6-1 in game 2, and the Boston won 5-1 in game 1. So they did go over, but it was just like one team doing the whole thing, and I don't really see that here. We're kind of past that the early series where the overs are usually hitting. So now we're at the points where like the teams start to step up and play defense, like game 3, 4, 5. And that's what we've seen in the Boston series versus Toronto. After the first few games, they were really low scoring. We're talking like 2-1, 3-1 type of games. So this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer. I don't expect one team to run away with it. During the regular season, there weren't any games between these two decided by more than 2 goals between these teams. Like there was like a 3-1, a 3-2, 4-3 game. But yeah, so Jeremy Swayman, Bruins goalie, he was invincible these playoffs until that last game. But if you watch the game, like, you'd know most of the goals weren't his fault. That's on the Bruins defense. A lot of those were near impossible to save. And he's getting the start again, of course. He's definitely capable of bouncing back and just going right back to being a brick wall. It definitely makes sense for him to start again. You can't just replace him after one somewhat bad game after what he's done in these playoffs. So I still trust him. And of course, I don't want to fade Swayman, especially at home. At the same time, I don't want to fade the Panthers as a short road favorite. So I think it's going to be a close game, and that kind of points to an under for me.
So lean towards the under. Looks like our comments are split. A lot of people are saying Bruins. Someone saying Todd Fox is saying Bruins minus 1.5. NHL bets is saying Panthers are the best road team in the NHL. You're getting them at minus 130. What should I put up? I'm not going to bet this, but I'll put up the Panthers.
Yeah, this is like a smaller bet for me. It's not like, yeah, I don't like this one as much as the next one.
Yeah, I'll put up Panthers for me. Best road team in the NHL sounds good. I don't know shit. Full disclosure. So yeah, our poll is pretty split down the middle. 38%, 47% in favor of the Bruins. So as far as the viewers go, slightly leaning towards Boston. Next game, we got Edmonton at Vancouver. What's this series now?
1-0 Vancouver.
1-0 Vancouver. Oh, so Vancouver pulled it off in the first one.
Yep. So the Oilers were up 4-1 and they blew it.
I knew that. I remember people talking about it in the Discord. I remember that.
Oh, it was crazy game. Oh, obviously we had the over in that. That was pretty easy. So I'm on the over again here. I couldn't get to a side here. I don't want to go against Edmonton off a loss in this spot because like they always bounce back after a loss. But in game 1 and 5v5, the Canucks were by far the better team. So I don't want to go against them either at home. So I think the over's the move here. The Canucks, they took that too many men in the ice penalty like a minute in. They gave up a goal. And after that, they kept a completely clean sheet. I bet the coach probably talked to him. He was like, look, we can't be doing this. And how do you stop the Oilers' lethal power play? You just don't take penalties. So like I said, I'm not big on laying a price for the Oilers on the road here. So yeah, Connor McDavid, he was nowhere to be seen in game 1. He didn't have a shot on goal. And we know enough about him.
I thought Connor McDavid was on the Lightning.
No, he's on the Oilers.
He's one of the best players in the league, right?
Yeah, he's the best player in the league. I think most people would agree on that.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so he didn't have a shot on goal in the entire game. And like, we know enough about this guy that he's going to respond in game 3 and make his presence felt. So I think I'm probably going to back his shots on goal and points props. But yeah, as for the over, even if the Oilers don't get power play opportunities, they're still going to generate opportunities. They scored 3 more goals without power plays in the game. So that's just what the Oilers do. They're going to be able to score. And the Canucks have shown they can score on this Oilers defense too in 5-on-5 play. So I think both teams can score goals here. The last 7 of the last 8 meetings have had more than 6 goals. And I don't really trust either of these goalies. Seelov's in game 1, he had his hands full despite not facing a ton of shots. And that's how it's going to be against the Oilers. And then Skinner, of course, he let through a bunch of goals. He definitely should have saved, especially that last one for the Canucks to take the lead. Like, he needs to have that. That was a completely like savable shot. Like, that was bad. So I don't trust him either. And then as for a prop, I like Warren Foegele to score at plus 350. They just put him on the top line with McDavid. So at plus 350, you just got to take that. Like, McDavid can make a broomstick score on the top line with him. So he's the reason Zach Hyman has 50 goals on the season.
Foegele, like that?
Foegele.
Gele, okay. Foegele. A lot of people are pissed I didn't know what team Connor McDavid. Dude, I'm not a hockey guy. Why do you think System Plays is on here? I don't know shit.
Connor McDavid on the Oilers.
So Foegele to score a goal plus 350. If you want to get a little riskier, take a shot at a goal scorer. He did hit his last goal scorer last night in the Stars game.
Yeah, I ended up taking the over in that game too, and that hit, so that made up for the Canes fucking me last night.
All right, so he likes under in the first game, over in the second game. Make sure you guys give System Plays a follow. His Twitter is right there, The System Plays. Appreciate him taking his time to come on. I will tomorrow morning. We're doing like 11:15, 11:30. I'll let you know.
All right, I'll see you
later. All right. Time for some NBA. We got 8 minutes. By the way, the poll was 54%, 26% Oilers. So you guys, as far as the viewers, leaning towards the Oilers. That's what I was thinking. Someone said Foegele, a.k.a. McLovin. That's what I was thinking, and I was like, I'll sound like an idiot if I say that. So I didn't say it. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like McLovin? Technically, I don't have a first name, so don't worry about my first name. But we're the police. What a classic movie. All right, cameras are set up for when these guys join. Let's get the poll running. It's time for some New York Knicks basketball. Oh, what's up, Matt? I'll get you in 1 second. All right, poll is running. Go ahead and cast your votes. Let's get Mr. Modai on the screen. I'm sure Chris will be with us momentarily. All right. What's up, man?
What's up? Can you turn off the green screen?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's because I wear this green. It's happened all the time. I wear the green sweatshirt and then it looks
there we
weird.
Go. Looks better.
Yeah, much better. I'm good. I'm in the process of moving, so I just have boxes everywhere. You can't really tell on the camera, thankfully, because it's zoomed in enough. But
I love how you put Modai on the TO jersey.
Have I not said the story behind that? On this,
no, I don't think so.
So when I was in whatever year T.O. was on the Eagles when they went to the Super Bowl, he was by far my favorite player. I was in like 7th grade, and my mom got me a jersey with his number and my name on the back. And even being in 7th grade, I was like, Mom, I can't wear this jersey.
I'm not T.O.
Yeah, I'm not T.O. And I don't play for the Eagles. So I can't have so once I had a little bit of disposable income, I got it framed so I could put it up and thank my mom for the gift. That was out of the kindness of her heart.
If you're going to put your name on your team's jersey, it's got to be like number 0 or like number doubles. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't take T.O.'s number.
It can't be 81. I know. So, and then the Westbrook jersey actually got signed. So that's why that one's framed as well.
Chris is not late, by the way. I told him 4 o'clock, so he's got 5 minutes. It's hard to estimate how long we'll be talking about each sport, so I ballpark it.
Yeah. I mean, and NBA has been at 2 like all year, right?
Yeah, well, 2 your time, I'm guessing. Yeah. 4.
Sorry, I said 2. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 4 is when I usually start my show. We started doing this 3:45 thing to incorporate hockey. We didn't want MLB to go to like 6:37. So
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, this fall, I'm excited. There's going to be a morning show and an evening show every day.
So you mean when basketball starts?
No, football. So Monday morning, I didn't even announce this yet, so if you're watching, you're the first ones to hear this. So like Monday in the morning will be day baseball if there's any on. WNBA will be in the evening, and then we'll go through like 5 college football games, the first ones, and then in the evening, MLB, WNBA, whatever's on, and then 3 NFL games.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
Well, in the evening, that night, yeah, will be Monday Night Football. But then Tuesday, 5 more college. We will like handicap the slate together as we go through. So by the time we get to Friday, we'll be doing the Sunday Night Football game, the last games of the week, and so basically we'll be live every day going through the slate. And at the end of the week, we'll be finishing. You will have heard us go through every football game if you listen every day. That's the idea.
Yeah, and then what? Like, so nothing on the weekends?
Oh no, hell no. We're lighting it up on the weekends. We'll go through them all. The weekends we'll go through every single game. I plan on being live from like 10 a.m. to noon Saturdays and 10 a.m. to 12:30 on Sundays. Actually, I was going to talk to you. I was hoping you could do Sunday mornings 10 to 11. I was going to do prop hour first, and then at 11 a.m. Eastern time we go through all the games prop hour. And then we do against the spread. We start the whole slate over, start at game 1 again at 11. That's the plan.
Yeah, I could do Sunday at 10. On my own channel, I would do 11.
Well, that'd be perfect.
That would almost be perfect. Yeah.
So you do prop hour here, and they go back to your own channel, and then I'll start back at game 1, and then we'll go against the spread. That's the plan.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Yeah, someone asked in the comments when the NFL schedule gets announced. I thought it was supposed to be last night, so I don't really know.
I can tell you, I don't give a shit. You know what I care about with the NFL schedule? August 29th. Like, I don't care at all.
Well, I like to look. I want to see, like, if I'm gonna make it to a game in Philly, I want to see like what the schedule, or also if there's a really cool away city that I want to go to when that is. So that's kind of, I actually do care when it gets announced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an off-season guy. I like betting, and I can't. If there's nothing to bet, I don't care. That's why I didn't watch 1 second of the NFL draft. Not that I'm not interested, but the NFL draft can be accomplished with one text message. Just text me who everyone picked after. I don't need to sit there and watch it for 18 hours. Just text me who everyone picked. That's all I care about.
I love the draft. The draft is one of my favorite things in the world, and I could not be different.
It's the corniest shit ever.
I love the draft. That's fine. You could just say it's corny, whatever.
And then, like, on Twitter, I'm as you probably know, I'm a huge college football fan. Like, I watch 16 hours of college football every Saturday for years, right? And then I see on Twitter, like, people that I know don't watch college football giving, like, their scout analysis on players, where it's like, dude, I don't even know about that guy. So how do you – I know you don't.
Yeah, it's people that read – scouting reports and mock drafts and then make their own opinion, because like that's what I do. Like, I don't watch that much college football, so I don't grind film myself. I just based on what people say. Yeah,
I am not an off-season guy. All right, Chris is with us, and it's 4 o'clock exactly. Chris, you ready to talk Knicks basketball?
I am. What's going on, fellas?
Not much. So this is a very challenging spot we're in, isn't it, guys? Here we are, game 3. I'll put it up. I'll fly my flag. Put up Knicks plus the points. It's very hard to sit here with no OG Anunoby, with Jalen Brunson questionable. It's very hard.
He's in.
That's been confirmed? When did that happen?
It's been confirmed about 25 minutes ago, which is why the line is moving. I think it's about 20 minutes ago. Totals jumping, spreads moving a little bit. Brunson will play.
Oh, wow. That must have been right before I went live. I didn't even see that. So, okay. Well, but still, he's not 100% either way. Even when he came back in to game 2, he didn't look like himself. But regardless, the way, not just the injuries to OG Anunoby, but also the way the Knicks won game 1 and 2, there were so many moments where it's like, can we count on that to keep happening? Can we count on Josh Hart to keep not being a knockdown outside shooter? We know he's not that guy. Just so many aspects of the game that I think are bound to swing the other way eventually. So I completely get if you're on the Pacers here. I see how this could be a Pacers spot. Completely understand across the board based on what we saw in game 1 and 2, how you would think this would be the Pacers spot. Get it. That being said, I feel like people are kind of have a short memory when it comes to this Pacers team, and I said this in game 2. This was a team we were scared to lay 8-9 points against the Pistons in the regular season with the Pacers. Were we not? We would always say, be like, the Pacers should kill this team, but I can't lay this number with the Pacers. They don't play any defense. And so, yeah, that's the Knicks without OG Anunoby. They're fatigued. They're banged up. They're missing Mitchell Robinson, all that. But I was hesitant to lay points with the Pacers against even the worst teams in the NBA. I was hesitant to lay 8 with the Pacers against Washington this season. And I feel like Chris probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like we talked about that several times through the season. Like, how do you lay a big number with the Pacers? They don't generate stops. So even if you're completely, let's say, unsold on New York, if you're saying games 1 and 2, they got a little bit lucky. They had a lot of shots fall that had no business falling. They got a couple of fortunate calls in game 1. I hear you. I'm not even saying you're completely wrong. I'm just saying let's not forget who this Pacers team is. And you know what? In the fourth quarter of game 2, they showed us that was a harsh reminder of who they are. They had every reason to win that game. Brunson was banged up. No OG Anunoby. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Precious Achua, and a banged-up Brunson, those 4 guys, they played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter. They were gassed. And the Knicks still won the fourth quarter 31-30, out-rebounded them 12-6. So this is still the Pacers, and I still am taking the points. I already bet it. But if you're on the Pacers, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'm on the Pacers. The first thing I did when lines opened up for this game was I took the Pacers. I was able to get them at -5 at -112. 7.5, I think that's probably a no touch at that point. Like, I wouldn't really touch 7.5. Looks like the best you can get is 6.5, which you can get at FanDuel. I maybe would take that, but any more than that, it's just like this Knicks team just rarely just doesn't get blown out. Like the Sixers, they won one game by 11 when Embiid scored 50 points, and at no point was that game like a comfortable lead for the Sixers. It was like a 10, then would get to 6 and back up to 10. So I do think the Pacers win and cover. I just feel like the last team that you want to see when you're gassed and you're running out 7 guys playing 48 minutes is a team like the Pacers at home that's going to run the ball up and down the court, just try to tire the crap out of the Knicks. Jalen Brunson was amazing in the second half. He didn't look healthy, and a lot of times guys can just get shot up and adrenaline will kind of carry them through a game. But with days off, who knows how healthy he is. He's probably going to get his, but if he's like 90% of what he's normally been, that's going to hurt the Knicks. And it's just like it's the system play of the team down 2-0 coming back at home and winning game 3. Like, I know that with their 2 sweeps in the first round, but then we also saw the Sixers win game 3 in the first round. The player prop that I went with this one was TJ McConnell over 16.5.
That's disgusting. That is no.
Why? Okay, well, tell me why.
You're taking TJ McConnell's over. That's who. Oh, you know what? Let me double down on my Knicks bet if you think TJ McConnell is going to beat us.
Have you looked at his? I mean, I'm not saying TJ McConnell's going to beat the Knicks. I think he's going to have like.
I'll put it up. Go ahead.
Did you watch games 1 and 2? The dude had like 22 of each in the.
Yeah, he's going for 30 tonight. He's going for 30 tonight. Yeah, TJ McConnell.
I'm not telling you that TJ McConnell's going to score 30 points. Look at the bet, my man. It's 17 points plus assists. He had 12 assists in game 2. He had 16 points, or 18 points. I forget what he had in game 1. Either way, I think his minutes are going to go up. He played 23 minutes in each of games 1 and 2. They lost the game in the fourth quarter because they put Andrew Nembhard on Jalen Brunson, who has no business guarding Jalen Brunson. He sags off of him, and then Brunson hit a huge 3 in the fourth quarter because Nembhard gave him space. TJ won't do that. Now you got me all flustered having to defend my TJ McConnell bet.
You should have to defend it.
No. He has been on fire through games 1 and 2. I'm sorry. I'm not telling you that he's going to put up 40 points like Brunson. But 17, I mean, come on. And I think he's going to play more minutes. Like his defense, I'm not going to say he did not shut down Brunson by any means. Of course not. But he did at least make him work for it. And if you do that over 40 minutes, like not that TJ is going to play 40 minutes, if you at least just make him work for it, it's going to make him a little bit harder. And when TJ's in, he shoots. Like that's just what he does. He's going to run around, not run off screens and shoot. He's going to run around with the ball off screens on offense. He's at least going to make Brunson do something on defense, which Nembhard doesn't do because he just spots up in the corner. And even if TJ McConnell only plays 23 minutes like he did in games 1 and 2, he cashed it in 23 minutes in games 1 and 2 as well. And I think he plays more, but even if not, he's shown that he can hit this in 23 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to switch sides now. I forgot about TJ McConnell, absolute game changer. Yes, I'm aware of his plus minus. Relax. It's a bit chill. Chris, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
In the chat, all confused now.
So let me first side on the TJ McConnell thing and
stop it. I'm not putting that graphic up for you. I won't do it.
And back my guy Moda and say that TJ McConnell is definitely in a great spot. I'm not bet player props, of course, but Moda, you are not crazy. I know Sauce kind of jumped on you. You are not crazy for thinking that TJ McConnell is going to have a big game today because they are plus 19 with him on the floor, minus 32. Yeah, he may go for 40. He may be Brunson today, or he may stop Brunson from getting 40. But Nembhard offense was good too. But I chose to go Pacers team total over. Should be to no one's surprise here. To your point, Moda, home favorites. You talked about this spot coming home. Home favorites down 0-2 in game 3 are 61-28 straight up, 53-34-1 against the spread. That's 61%. And if the home favorite, the larger the line, the higher the ATS number goes up, right? So if they're laying 5 points or more, 22-8 straight up, 19-10 against the spread. So you mentioned desperation mode. I think you absolutely see that here. But my thoughts on the team total is, first and foremost, Indy has had no problem scoring in this series. They had 117 and 121 at the Garden in both games on the road. Now they come home where role players play better in front of their home crowd versus a shorthanded Knicks team, shorthanded beat-up Knicks team. And I think that they'll play with more energy throughout the full game. We've seen them get double-digit leads in the first half of game 1 and game 2. I think it's sustainable here. I think the Pacers, who I can't ever trust defensively, in my opinion, that was enough for me to stay off the spread. But I do expect them to be able to score. They've given up 70 points in the second half on average to this New York Knicks team. So I don't think people can see that. Maybe they can.
They can in 1 second. They can't see.
My last point is that this team has scored 117 points in both of the games this series and 120 in all 3 games in the first round against the Bucks. They're 5-0 to their team total over. And I think against the Knicks team that's, a little beaten up here, you want to run them. So give me Pacers team total over. I think they score 120 tonight against the Knicks defense that really hasn't had to show up because they've been able to score the ball so much. So took Pacers team total over 115.5. Still widely available. I actually played it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to sit here, look at games 1 and 2, just knowing everyone's going to take the over, as much as I would sit here and love to make a case for the under, it's hard to really argue against the Pacers team total over based on what we've seen for real. The only thing that would keep, and this got confused last time, when it was me, you, and Ski, I didn't take the under in the game. I was explaining why I was scared to take the over, and I think maybe people might have, whatever. Who gives a shit? Anyway, so what are your thoughts on the Knicks are banged up, they're fatigued, maybe Thibodeau wants to slow the game down in game 3 and change it up on them? Is there any credence to that? I don't know if I'm just talking shit there, if there's any truth to that. I mean, I feel like it makes sense, but like if there, I don't think there's any evidence on the court to suggest that will happen. I feel like that's just like a nice sounding theory in my head.
Yeah, I agree with the sounding theory in your head, and there may be some logic to it here if you want to keep it close. But I think I actually thought that the Knicks would dictate pace in game 1 and game 2. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was at the end of the first quarter, they interviewed Josh Hart. And he said, yeah, we want to play fast too. Like, we absolutely want to play fast. Like, we can play fast. And then we go through and look at the Knicks' offensive numbers, especially in transition. Like, they've been a great transition team. Who the Pacers stopping? Nobody. They couldn't stop the Bucks without Giannis and Dame. So I think if the Pacers going to win, it's going to be because they play fast. And I highly doubt you slow the Pacers down in Indiana. I think you guys had a better chance of that, Cal, when the game's actually in New York. So I often think home teams kind of dictate pace. So that's why I think Pacers do score here.
I usually think the same way. And I added, in case you guys are listening in the car or can't see the screen, I added one more lock. TJ McConnell's under 10.5 points. I might alt his under, take under 4.5. This man's not sniffing the rim tonight. So, yeah.
Kyle, what happened last time you hated a player prop that I had?
Yeah, I know.
Was for baseball, but
it hit. But sometimes bad bets hit.
That's my favorite. Someone will talk shit on my YouTube channel, and then the bet will cash, and they'll be like, "It doesn't matter. It was still a bad bet." It's like, okay, that's fine.
Okay, all right. It pays out the same as a good bet. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk second game here. We're in Minnesota, and not gonna lie, kind of frustrated about this one. Partially because I want to take Denver. But there's no way I can, and I didn't. I bet Minnesota. I guess it's just like my sports betting brain that says, oh, the defending champs bounce back and take this one. But the thing is, I need more than that to get my money down. I need more than just a hunch based on what I see happening. I need something. Give me some statistical angle that backs that feeling. And the truth is, it's not there. So if you are betting Denver here, I'm not saying you're wrong. So I don't want this to be misconstrued. I'm not saying you're wrong. Not saying you're going to lose. Not saying whatever. I'm just saying there's really no numbers to back that up other than you have faith in the MVP and the defending champions to bounce back and win this game, which is a must-win game for them. So I get it if you're there, but I can't ignore the fact that Minnesota is significantly better on both sides of the court here. And this isn't just based on what we've seen the last couple of games. I mean, we're starting to build up a little bit of a sample size here. Minnesota's the better team. I don't know how else to slice it. They're the number one defense in the NBA. They're the number one defense in the NBA at home. Denver's offense on the road, first of all, Denver's offense at home is 4th in efficiency at home. They dropped to 17th on the road. They're the worst offense of the entire playoffs in the second round so far. Now they're going on the road where historically they're even worse against the number one home defense, playing with all kinds of momentum. And if this was maybe the other way around and Minnesota was down 2-0, I could see Minnesota stealing it to make it 2-1. But because I could see Denver, the defending champs, kind of letting their foot off the gas looking at the next round. I don't see this Minnesota team overlooking anything. They came out in Game 4 against the Suns like it was Game 7 of the finals. Like, this team is not taking anything lightly. They're making a statement right now. They're 6-0 in these playoffs. They're 6-0 against the spread. I don't see any reason not to bet them. If I bet Denver in this game and Minnesota's up 14 at half, I would be kicking myself. Like, what the hell is the matter with me? This team's 6-0 against the spread, beating everybody, clearly better at home, laying a short number. How did I not take that? So that's like kind of the situation I'm in, and that's kind of how I feel about this. I feel like my hands are tied, and I don't have a choice because I will hate myself if I bet Denver here and Minnesota goes out and does it again. So I'm on the Timberwolves. They're going to have to show me they're capable of losing a game, honestly, for me to even – I mean, maybe if we're talking 7.5, 8, but 3.5, you're betting on this team to lose a game they haven't lost. They haven't not covered. So, yeah, Minnesota for me. I already bet it.
Yeah, I didn't touch the spread on this one. I was all over the Nuggets in Game 2, thinking they would come back and win. And obviously the literal opposite of what I thought happened. So I just stuck away on this one. The play that I went with is Jokic over 1.5 made 3-pointers. It's all the way up at plus 145, which I think is pretty good value because Rudy Gobert played Game 1. Jokic attempted 9 3-pointers. Granted, he only made 2, but the 9 attempts is what we're looking at here. And That now made it 4 straight playoff games that he played against the Timberwolves, dating back to last year where he went over 1.5, made 3-pointers. Then he only attempted 2 in game 2, but that was without Gobert. Gobert wants to stay around the rim, but he doesn't want to guard him that much on the perimeter, and they're going to let him shoot. That's not what they did in game 2 because Gobert wasn't on the floor. So I think we're kind of getting a pretty good buy low opportunity here because people are going to say, oh, he barely shot in game 2. I'm not taking that. But if you look at game 1, he attempted 9. And that 9 number is probably an outlier, but if he gets 6, 7 attempts, all we need is for him to make 2. And in a desperation game, if they're leaving him open, he will shoot. Like I said, he's cashed 2 or more 3-pointers in 4 straight games against the Timberwolves in which Gobert has played. He only missed it the first couple games of the series last year, and then he missed it in game 2, but obviously Gobert missed. So with Gobert being back, I think you're getting a really good buy low opportunity on Jokic over 1.5 made threes. At plus 145, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one, and it takes me back to earlier in the season, Prop Beaver blindly taking centers over 3-pointers made against Minnesota because they play that drop coverage. So it makes perfect sense. And then I like how you threw that game 2 angle in there, how game 2 is an outlier because Gobert wasn't on the floor. It makes perfect sense. And also Jokic, the reason I know this is I was just looking at it. He's been shooting terribly from outside. So he only has to make 2. He's bound to hit a couple. I like that bet. What about
2 of 9 in game 1?
Yeah. Yeah, I did the graphic. He's shooting terribly from outside. So what about Chris?
Yep, Minnesota here for me as well. How can you catch that falling knife? I can't do it. I know people are blindly just, thinking that Denver's going to show up in this spot, and I get it. They're defending champs. I'm with you, Moda. I bet them game 2. It was the absolute must-win desperation spot. And I saw this team come out and get outscored by 8 points in the first quarter. And then the game was over. It was 33-15 in the second quarter. And they literally had 35 points at halftime. And it kind of just felt like abuse at a certain point where it's not fun anymore watching the team. If you ever see somebody a nice good fight is cool, but you don't want to see anybody just not be able to do anything. And that's what it feels like. This defense of the Minnesota Timberwolves is so suffocating that it just feels like a hobbled Jamal Murray. We also got to mention Reggie Jackson limped off the floor. He's listed as questionable here. And KCP, who already I thought was going to be, pretty much a non-factor because he's too small to guard Anthony Edwards. You're looking at a healthy Minnesota Timberwolves team, a team that Anthony Edwards, the leader of the team, said he just wants to kill everything in front of him. He said that after game 2, I think it was, against the Phoenix Suns, and they've literally done that. I listened to Coach Chris Finch after the post practice yesterday, and he said that this is another opportunity for our guys to show that they are mature and that they're ready for this stage. And I just can't see this team losing at home. And it's a short number, like you said, Kyle. I love that I didn't bet it yet, and it's down to 3.5. That makes me like it even more. And the last point I want to make is the Denver Nuggets. This team is not going to beat you with their defense, I don't think. I think they're going to have to push the pace. The problem is Minnesota is so good. And Denver's offense is struggling so much. I didn't think Jaden McDaniels was going to have this much of an impact on Jamal Murray. But the Denver Nuggets have an offensive rating of 98.7 in 80 minutes with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray on the floor. Now, to put that in perspective, over the regular season, they had an offensive rating of a 127.9. I don't think that it's going to stop today. I've seen nothing that tells me it's going to stop today. Minnesota minus 3.5 here. I do think, let me say this, guy. I do think that if you want to go out on that limb and you want to take the Denver Nuggets, I think you got to do it first quarter. I know it's super volatile, but if they're going to punch, it's going to be early. I don't see them getting down in this spot and then all of a sudden coming back to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, especially in game 3 on the road. So plus 1.5, I think is first quarter. I didn't bet it, but I do think if you like Denver, you probably want to do it early. They should probably get their best effort. The defense, weighs along throughout the series and I'm throughout the game. And I also think, Cal, you probably saw this. Minnesota is a +8 in third quarter points scored in the whole entire playoffs. So they just get better as the game goes on. So, maybe Denver has a shot early if you like them early, but I'm laying at 3.5 here.
Someone said that a couple people are saying that they think the line is sketchy. In which way? I mean,
I saw someone compare it to the Pacers line. It's a reason it's only 3.5 compared to 7.
What do you mean only 3.5? It's the defending champions. They have the same record.
Exactly.
The line doesn't move 6 points based on 1 or 2 games. That's not how it works. These teams had the same record this year. That's not how these models work. They don't. Like, if you mean to tell me if Minnesota plays really good in this game, that game 4, they're going to be laying 9? That's not how it works. If Minnesota blows them out here, they'll probably be laying 4.5, 5 in game 4. Small sample size will not move these lines that much like that. All right, so our poll is leaning towards Minnesota. 50%, 40% Minnesota. So let's get a top bet from the group. They like the over in that one. I actually was leaning towards the under there, but I didn't like it enough to even mention it on the show. But if I was to pick a total there, it would be the under in that one. But you guys like the over in both. So they like the Pacers, minus 7.5. It's at 6.5 now, right?
You can still get, last I checked, you could still get 7.5 at Caesars.
Then I'll just put 7 up to make it.
Yeah, 7 seems like consensus.
Okay, Timberwolves, minus 3.5. And then they like Knicks Pacers over, that's 222.5, right?
Yes.
And they like Denver, Minnesota over 204.5. All right, what's the community's favorite NBA bet before we move on to some MLB baseball?
I'm going to guess and say Pacers minus the 7.
Good. Go ahead. Everyone, enjoy your stay on Pacers minus 7. Let me know how it works out.
You should have added, I know you can't add a second one, but a fifth one. You should have added TJ McConnell.
I was just going to say.
I'm already doing another poll right after this. TJ McConnell over under. And if over wins that bet, I've lost faith in my own community.
No, that means your community's sharp, and they don't care about the name value of someone. TJ McConnell, some pasty white guy from Pittsburgh. Come on.
If TJ McConnell is sharp, I want to be dull. Wow, it's Minnesota by a blowout. 52% like Minnesota. And then the Knicks Pacers over is second. So the community favorite side, let's put it up there. So community favorites, I'll call it. So you can see it. All right, so side, Minnesota minus 3.5. Total, Knicks, Pacers over 222.5. All right, so that's the community's favorite bets here. Minnesota minus 3.5 and the Knicks Pacers over. And then one final poll. TJ McConnell over 10.5 points, under 10.5 points. And if you guys want a refresher, just go Google image TJ McConnell before voting.
That's why it's so low. It should be priced at like 17.5.
Oh,
people just
it should be 17.5. Oh my god. While these guys are voting, make sure you check out these two guys' content. That's both their Twitter names underneath them, ChrisBeCappinn, Jedi Modi. They both have their own YouTube channels. They both put out daily content similar to this one. We appreciate them taking the time to come on, so definitely show them some support.
I just logged into all my burners and voted for TJ's over. So
I wouldn't put it past you.
all my burners.
I'm like Kevin Durant.
This is
on
insane.
my burner accounts.
All of you. Oh, this is sharp. Modi, the entire world's taking TJ McConnell's over.
Well, you got a sharp audience. That's not my fault.
No. 76% of you said over. Just 23% of you are actually seeing things clearly and said under 10.5 points. TJ McConnell under 6.5.
I do want to be clear that my play was 16.5 points plus assists.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for him to have like 4 points and then like 15 assists or something. So we're all right.
Yeah, that could happen. But all right, let's move on to some MLB baseball. Thanks for joining, guys.
Best of luck, fellas. See you guys tomorrow.
Later.
If we do the show tomorrow, Kyle.
I'm doing one tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Okay. Best of luck, fellas.
Oh, Matt, you're staying.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Yeah, I forgot. Toast, your mic is making noise, I think. Yeah, it's making a weird noise, but hold on, maybe I can get it out. Oh, now it stopped. I think it's just like really loud, to be honest. There, it's better now.
Weird.
All right, where's Prop Beaver? Is that him in the thing? Do you guys see Prop Beaver anywhere? There he
He
is.
just joined.
Someone's dog.
It's not mine this time.
Is that Prop Beaver's dog?
You put me under Prop Beaver, by the way.
I had you. Well, yeah, I had you in cam too. Now I switched to
Oh,
cam.
I see.
Oh, where'd I go?
There he
I
is.
got riled up after that TJ McConnell prop. I'm just turning my video off and taking off my sweatshirt 1 second.
Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't showing up. I might have to set these up real quick. That only take a second.
Don't let him bully you, Matt Modi.
It's a bad bet. All right. What's up, guys? Want to talk baseball? Want to talk Seam?
Let's do it.
First game up is Cubs and Pirates, and we're getting started early because I got a glimpse of Prop Beaver's graphic for this one, and I couldn't disagree more. He's starting off with a bad pick. He's taking the...
I'm not taking shit. I fucking put a pick up just so that we could talk about it on the show. That's all I did. I'm not taking anything.
Well, my bad. I figured you were taking it because there were a graphic there. Prop Beaver chose violence this morning.
Yeah.
It would be Cubs or pass for me. I don't get how you could lay juice with the Pirates in any way here. This is the worst lineup in baseball. They're literally, in the last 30 days, they're dead last in every category against right-handed pitching. And I mean 30th, 30th, 30th. In the last 14 days, 30th, 30th, 30th. In the last 7 days, 30th, 30th, 30th. This is the worst lineup in baseball. I know Jared Jones is the man, but, I mean, Assad has been, I won't say every bit as good because Jared Jones is really impressive, but Assad's been good as hell as well. And he should shut the Pirates down. So if you want to make a case for Jared Jones pitching a gem here against the Cubs, sweet, but where are the runs coming from? So it'd be Cubs, Pirates team total under, something along those lines.
Yeah, I would go Pirates first 5 run line or pass here. Emphasis on the pass. I mean, backing the Pirates offense is disgusting, but I must say, I mean, at some point they have to snap out of it. The last 2 games, they have done just that. I mean, Ryan Feltner, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Jose Soriano, who entered the game with a 0.45 road ERA, was killing it on the road. 8 base runners and less than 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Javier Assad, this is now his 7th game, I believe, or 6th game. He hasn't allowed 3+ runs once, yet his earned run line still is at 2.5 for this one. I don't know why. Books are basically saying that he's going to regress, and if you look at his numbers, I mean, yeah, he's not a good K guy. He doesn't create ground balls at a great rate. His ERA and xFIP are pretty wide apart. He's definitely a regression candidate, so that would be the way I lean here. Don't love it, so yeah.
All right, let's bring up Modi, and I think, hold on. Yeah, I have to insert myself in each one. Only have to do this one more time after this. I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, well, you kind of made my point for me. I took the under on this one. I love both these pitchers, even though I agree that there is a little bit of regression for Javier Assad. I still think he's really good. Even if you look at his advanced stuff, it shows that he is getting a little bit lucky, but still pretty good. And then the Pirates offense, they can't hit anything. They're worst in basically every single category you could possibly look at. Worse than WRC+, WOBA, WRAA, ISO rate, OPS, lowest slugging. And the Cubs offense, yeah, it's not as bad as the Pirates offense. I think Jared Jones is a stud, and the Cubs are still bottom 8 to 10 in all the different categories that I look at. So I love this under.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if you're hesitant about backing the Cubs lineup, but it's just there's just no way. The Pirates are terrible. Let's see what Toast thinks.
Yeah, I bet the Cubs as well. I've said it over and over again. I just don't understand these prices with the Pirates. So if they're going to continue to make them these decent-sized favorites, I mean, I'm not saying they're heavy favorites, but I'm going to continue to bet against them. Jared Jones is an absolute stud. There's no question about that. I do agree that they have a pitching advantage in the first 5. There's no question about that. But I think that the bullpen advantage, I mean, for the Cubs isn't astronomical, but at the same time, we've seen how bad that this Pittsburgh bullpen has been. in. They haven't worked over the last week or so very much, but I'm still not in a point where I trust them. So if you're going to give me this Cubs team that's, playing decent baseball right now, I know they just lost 2 or 3 to the Cubs, but against the Padres, but those were close games throughout. So yeah, I took the plus money with the Cubs.
Yeah, it's almost and if this was a standalone thing, I'd be like, I'm too scared to bet this. But they keep making the Pirates favorites, and every single time I look at this, like, what's wrong with this line? And they keep losing. So
it's not like the Cubs are the world beaters either. I don't really love betting the Cubs on the road. They're a below 500 team on the road. It's just the plus money is what sold me. I wouldn't make this play at minus 120.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm adding Cubs money line to the watch list.
There we go.
Next up, Houston, Detroit, and Toast. I don't know if you saw my video. I know you're on vacation, but I uploaded a video for this one. I already bet it, put it in the Discord, posted on the website. I'm on the Tigers money line. I got a plus one.
I didn't bet it last night with you because I thought we were going to get a little bit better money, and I did because it just doesn't make sense. I'm same thing as you. Tigers for me. I don't trust the Astros. I understand that they just played one decent game against the Yankees, but they had lost their previous 5 games before that. And again, the Astros are not even a 500 baseball team this year. They're 5-5 their last 10, 7-13 their last 20, 11-19 their last 30. They're not playing good baseball right now. Framber's coming off the injured list. He has decent history against Detroit. I'll give him that. But Casey Mize is coming off his worst start of his season so far. I think he's able to pitch well because the Astros haven't shown anything against right-handed pitching that's making me scared of them. Detroit had the day off yesterday. I'll take my chances with them. And keep in mind, Detroit's 6-1 this year against left-handed pitchers. I understand. I don't think they've seen one for a little bit. I think they might have seen one in like the last week or whatever, or 2 in the last week or whatever it is. But I'll take my chances with a team that's finally starting to see some left-handed pitching at a huge plus price.
Yeah, Detroit does have solid numbers against lefties. And to add on to what you said about Casey Mize, not only is he coming off his worst start of the season, but he was actually pitching pretty well before that. Not Cy Young level, but he was okay. So I like this spot for Casey Mize to bounce back against not only an Astros lineup that's struggling against righties, but I got this from Prop Beaver's notes last night. Their numbers, their home away splits against righties are pretty significant. They're much better hitting righties at home than they are on the road. So I like Casey Mize to pitch well here. I'm not necessarily all over the fact of Framber Valdez getting. The Tigers getting to Framber Valdez. I could see him pitching pretty well, but still, I trust the Tigers bullpen more. So at plus money at home, I feel like this is where the value is, right, Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I'm expecting like a 3-2 ball game. Kamish was saying possibly an over in this game, and I was like, I'm expecting.
If it's an over, I don't really like the Tigers. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. If it's an over, that's not Tigers baseball. That's not how we win Tigers baseball games. We need a low-scoring affair here. The Astros got to Stroman yesterday. I think that was more indicative of how bad Stroman looks right now. Jesus Christ, he was terrible. Even if we include that horrible start yesterday, guess what? Last 6 righties face Houston, 2.79 ERA, 1-on-1 WHIP. They're still not really doing anything. On top of that, the offense has been significantly less potent on the road. They go from 5th to 19th in WRC+, 11th to 24th in ISO, 7th to 17th in OBP. Toast already mentioned the fact that Mize was coming off the bad start against the Yankees, but they're hot right now. Can't really fault them when the Yankees are hot. They're pretty much going to hit anybody. Mize's 2 home starts thus far have been rock solid. So I think he could have a solid start here. On the other side, we got Framber. We talked about it. Mediocre start. Just got hit up by Seattle, who was bottom 10 in most categories against lefties before facing them. So that's a bit crazy. Now heading to Detroit, who, as Toast mentioned, this is an offense that's waking up against lefties. 4th in WRC+, 7th in ISO, 4th in OBP against lefties over the last 30 days. Through the minuscule sample size we have, they've also been much better against them at home as well. 3rd in WRC+, 1st in ISO. Now, Valdez does do well against the Tigers. The last 5 starts, 1.8 ERA, 106 WHIP, 0.3 home run per 9. But Detroit is still 3-2 to the money line in those games. And you could argue that going back to last summer, this is the most vulnerable period we've seen from Framber Valdez for these Tigers. So not only that, we got the bullpen edge. The Tigers, Astros used their high leverage arms yesterday. Tigers got the day off yesterday. So I just think at the plus money, it makes sense. I was a bit worried because it went from plus 115 where Sauce got it to plus 135 where I got it. But now it's moving back to about plus 125, plus 120-ish. So I feel good about it again.
Yeah, and I don't like the line moving that way at all. But I was already bought in when it happened, so it was too late for me.
There's a couple line moves that are weird today.
Also, like I don't even know how much to really put in it. Yesterday, I got the Yankees right before first pitch. I mean, the Yankees whatever was like minus 170 or minus 160 or whatever. The St. Louis Cardinals were minus 170 or minus 180. So if you hopped in on the other side right before first pitch, you're getting insane value. So it's like, I don't know, just bet what you want to bet, I guess.
And I don't even know that the Astros had like a decent day yesterday. They had one good inning where they hit 2 home runs.
That's all they did.
And then that's all they did. So
Alvarez kind of looked like he was back. That's the one scary thing. But Mize has been elite against lefties thus far, which is good.
What about Modi?
I heard really smart people were on Alvarez to hit a home run yesterday, so that was nice for those really smart people. I passed on this one. I would lean towards the Tigers with you guys, but I didn't play anything myself.
All right, pass for Modi. Our community is definitely on the Tigers. 50%, 37% Detroit. I shouldn't say definitely. That's not that overwhelming. So community is leaning towards the Tigers is what I should say. Let's move on to the next game. Speaking of those Yankees, I got Toasts up first for this one. I didn't look at this game at all. Taj Bradley making his season debut. He was a tough guy to get a read on last year. I don't know how you could really make a prediction about him this year when we haven't seen him. You have anything you like here?
It would be Rays or pass, as gross as that is. Not that I'm really not in love with this Rays team at all, but they have been showing some signs of life. And yes, they did play the White Sox for a couple of games, and they did play the Mets for a couple of games. But we've seen with the Twins, when these teams catch a nice little streak where they play some bad teams or teams that are struggling, they catch a little bit of fire. I understand that they lost their last game, but again, to Sauce's point about Taj Bradley, at times he looked good. The last season, he had a really nice start at home against the Angels where he gave up 1 run. The next time he comes out against the Blue Jays, he gives up 6 runs in 7 innings. So he has there's times where he gives up 4 runs. There's times where he gives up 2 runs. It's very hard to get a read on him. Schmidt has decent numbers against the Rays when he's at home. On the road, it hasn't been like fantastic. I mean, it's 10 innings. It's like 10 innings, 5 runs. So nothing super special. But I think that the Rays are a little bit hotter right now. I should say equally as hot right now. And you get New York after playing Houston, now going on the road to play Tampa, another division game after that. So I would lean Rays or pass with the world on the other side, but I didn't bet it.
You know what? I kind of like what you said, and I don't hate the idea of fading the Yankees coming off that Houston series when Tampa had the day off, right? Yep, Tampa had the day off. I could see that. Let's see what Modi says. Yeah,
I'm on the other side. It's really square, but I just have the Yankees money line. I was able to get it at minus 120 when I locked it in. It's more so like, even if Taj Bradley pitches well, like how deep is he going to go into the game? And then you get the benefit of going up against the Rays bullpen, which I understand is rested, but they're not good. So it's like, congrats, you have not good arms, are well rested. It doesn't really make me feel that great about him. And the Yankees offense were really good against the Astros, and they've just been really good in general over the past 2 weeks, basically the second best offense in baseball, whether it's against righties or lefties. If you just look at total splits, second best to only really the Dodgers ahead of them. Like second best WRC plus, second best WOBA, second best WRAA, then third best ISO and OPS. I also like Clark Schmidt. He did get rocked in his last start, but the game before that pitched pretty well against the Orioles. And then he played the Rays back a couple weeks ago. Had a pretty good start. Like he gave up 1 run, granted on 7 hits, so maybe that was a little bit lucky. But even his advanced stuff was pretty good in that game. So I'll be square for this one. And I'll take the Yankees money line.
No, I'm not
planting my flag. Yeah. I'm not planting my flag on the Yankees like TJ McConnell. They're no TJ
no
McConnell.
Plantage?
No plantage. Not a plantage bet. Rob Beaver, what are your thoughts on? And I mean, this feels almost as square as a Yankees bet, but what about an over at 8?
See, I was actually leaning the other way. At first, I wanted to come into this game. I wanted to go Yankees first 5 team total over, fade Taj Bradley, yada yada yada, free. I don't know. There's something weird about this game. Like the line moved down on the Yankees. Everybody's on them, right? So that's weird, first off. Now, I wanted to get to the Rays, but they have a Clark Schmidt masterclass. If you look at the lines, I mean, they have his outs line at something that he never hits. They have his earned run line at 1.5. I mean, they're expecting Clark Schmidt to pull out all the stops here. So that throws me off a bit too. And then you look at Taj Bradley last year, like, yeah, he got hit up a lot, but his peripherals were amazing. I mean, he had elite command. His xFit was fantastic. He just had some really horrible luck, and he was really good against lefties. You take out like Judge, who has stunk on the road, by the way. He's been good at home, has stunk on the road. And the only people that are producing in the Yankees lineup against righties are lefties. So if Taj Bradley is able to shut down those lefties, then I think that we're going to see.
Well,
no, I think he could do it. I think he's really talented. So I think that. What were you going to say?
I was going to say they've never seen him. The only person on the team that's seen him is Verdugo. So
exactly. They've never seen him. And then both bullpens are performing actually really well right now. The Rays bullpen is even performing well right now. Last 7 days, I know they faced some weak competition, but they performed excellent. And the Yankees lineup, I mean, you never know when this lineup's just going to completely go to shit. I mean, yesterday they were really folding in some key situations against Blanca, which if they were hot, they normally would have, capitalized on. So that would be my lean for this game. Do I love backing the Rays bullpen and Taj Bradley, who has blow-up potential? No. But that's the way I lean here. You need a bet, I give a bet.
I got to say, though, the one Yankee that has seen him is Verdugo, and he's 5 for 5 against him. So
it doesn't even make sense. The Yankees have never seen Taj Bradley. Okay, they have never seen me. Could I go throw 6 innings against them? They've never seen me, if that's your logic. No, I wouldn't go under. It'd be over a pass.
I was using that as like a small.
Well, I'm just saying. I wanted to go over a pass too. The entire country's on the over, and the line moved down. What do you think about that? Why is the line moving down?
Does it make you feel better that it's not on my watch list?
I'm thrilled.
Let's move on to the next game, man. We got what's up next.
I feel like every total on this slate, though, is weird, though.
All right, Toast. So I'll go first because I have a bet in this game. Already placed it. Already gave it out.
Yeah. Do you see what the 9 is now?
Yeah, I got it. That's called CLV.
Well, yeah, I didn't post my bets last night, and I was like, damn, I can't give this out.
Yeah, I got it at plus 120.
Same here. I just didn't post my
What's
bets
that at plus 100 now?
No, it's like minus 120.
MGM, you could still get plus 100. I gave it out at plus 105. I don't give a fuck. I think there's more than a 50% chance it happens. It's plus money. I'm betting it.
Oh, so in case everyone's like, all right, what's the bet?
Too. Don't get me wrong, brother.
Yeah.
We keep saying it. We didn't actually say what it was. So it's Arizona first 5 money line. I gave this out last night at plus 120. And if you need reasoning, I mean, Arizona has absolutely rocked left-handed pitching, and I mean one of the best lineups in baseball statistically against left-handed pitching in the last 30 days too. Not a small sample size. So here they are against Cole Irvin, who's just, let's just call it what it is. Cole's due. Cole's due to get hit up. I think Arizona's definitely going to put some runs across on Cole Irvin. Do I absolutely love the idea of betting Brandon Pfaadt? No. But Baltimore's really been struggling to get to righties recently. And I mean bottom 5 in the MLB in the last 14 days against right-handed pitching. Not saying Baltimore's lineup is bad. Not saying they're never going to hit again. I'm just saying recently they're in a little bit of a rut. So I like Arizona in the first 5. Got a real nice plus price. And if you're wondering, Kyle, why aren't you playing Arizona in the full game? Thanks for asking. I'd love to show you. Let's bring it up.
I love asking myself questions. Yeah.
Where's roster resource? 1 second. Usually my browser goes right to it. Sorry. I'll show them.
Stop!
They're visual learners. Okay. Seawald, 2 of the last 3 days. Ginkle. Skinkle 2 days in a row. Arizona's missing their top 3 bullpen arms. No Seawald, no Ginkle, no Thompson. All unavailable. And Mantiply, he pitched 2 of the last 3. Yeah. So even he's a little bit taxed. So that's why I'm sticking to the first 5 because Arizona's bullpen, not only does it suck, they're a bottom 5, maybe even a bottom 3 bullpen to begin with, but they're missing their main arms too. So, and Baltimore, really not recently, but earlier in the season, they were bullpen killers. So you got a lineup that has a history of crushing bullpens against one of the worst bullpens in baseball, missing its top 3 arms. So I don't want anything to do with the Arizona Diamondbacks in inning 6+. But in the first 5, snake up.
Snake up. That's what they say.
Toast?
Yeah, I feel 100% the same way. I think that I think it was kind of grossly mispriced after Brandon Pfaadt's last performance. I understand he gave up 10 hits to the Padres, but I don't really think that's indicative of the pitcher that he has been. I mean, before that, solid starts all the way around. The Cardinals got to him. The Braves got to him. It is what it is. Again, this Baltimore team, they just don't show up sometimes. But again, when you have Cole Irvin on the mound, who hasn't given up a run in 3 straight games, I think it's only a matter of time before it cracks. Not to mention the fact that last year he went on the road to Arizona, gave up 8 hits and 4 runs in 5 2/3. So I'm very trying to be hesitant to say this, but I do think that after that huge win, after they're getting their ass kicked by San Diego, they had a huge win against them on Sunday, and then they come in and sweep the Reds. If they get a win here, Corbin Carroll's starting to hit the ball a little bit better. They're starting to actually produce and do something. Maybe Arizona starts to go on a little bit of a
I
roll.
agree. I firmly agree, Toast. I've been thinking the same thing in the back of my mind.
Yep.
Yeah. I might as well just follow that up. Let's complete the trifecta here. Yes, I'm on the same bet here. I mean, D-backs against a righty, absolutely not. D-backs against a lefty, sign me the hell up. Cole Irvin, yeah, he pitched 3 straight shutouts. It was against the Reds, who are abominable, the A's, who either kill you or do nothing, and the Royals, who were really struggling before they saw Reed Detmers. Boy, Reed, we got to get it together. None of those guys, none of those teams are top 12 offenses against lefties. This is the best offense against lefties. And then Brandon Pfaadt's like the opposite of Brandon Bielak from last year. Like, this guy's got a 4.61 ERA, but it makes no sense. He's so good. 21 K to BB rate is very good. The command's there. 5.6 barrel rate is excellent. 34 hard hit rate, excellent. 3.28 xFIP. I mean, he's really, really good. This just has to translate to real results at some point. And I mean, just look at the last 4 righties to face the O's. Trevor Williams, Hunter Green, Luis Gale, and Clark Schmidt. 0.40 ERA, 0.40 home run per 9. That means the only run given up in those 23 innings was a solo home run and a 0.88 whip. What really stands out to me is that Williams had success against him despite having significantly worse splits against lefties. And that is the only concern here with Pfaadt, because his splits are worse against lefties. But if you look at the xFIP, it really just tells you that it's all BS. It's all bad BABIP luck. I think that we have the significant edge here in the first 5. We got Pfaadt. It's about to dominate. We just need Cole Irvin to stop being so lucky. I don't get it. So let's go.
You guys sound a lot more confident in it than I am. I liked it a lot better plus 120. I still take it here, but I wouldn't say I'm overly dripping with confidence with Brandon Pfaadt. I just think there's value on the bet. That's all.
I think it's okay to sound excited about your bet.
Yeah, not this one. Modi, there's a lot of people in the comments that have a lot of faith in you to not pick Arizona.
I don't have Arizona money line. I am backing them a little bit. I have Brandon Pfaadt under 2.5 earned runs. It's juiced at -135. Somehow I'm coming on here 2 straight shows betting the starting pitcher against the Orioles under their earned run line. So let's hope we can go 2-0 against it. For someone that's a Phillies fan, Brandon Pfaadt, if you ask me, is the best pitcher in MLB history. I saw him. The Phillies couldn't get a hit off of him 2 straight games in the playoffs. It was the best pitching performances I've ever seen in my life. But Prop Beaver basically made my point for me. Everything shows that he's getting incredibly unlucky to have the ERA that he's having. His xERA 3.35, FIP 3.29, xFIP 3.28, and the barrel rate in hit rate that Prop Beaver gave out. Both of those numbers are the 4th lowest in the entire MLB in terms of barrel rate and hard hit rate. It's like incredible how unlucky this guy's getting. And Kyle, you said it, like the Orioles haven't been hitting righties recently. Like they're bottom 5 in all these categories against right-handed pitching recently. And Brandon Pfaadt, like, yeah, he had a bad game against the Padres where he gave up 3 runs, so he went over. His 3 starts prior to that, he went under in 3 straight heading into that Padres game. So you're paying the juice by at -135, but I think it's a good look.
Yeah.
I think that's a sharp line, too. They're making you pay that juice after what happened with that Padres loss going into Baltimore. I think if they really thought that he wasn't going to have a good start here, that'd be at -115. So I like that.
They know what they're doing.
Yep.
Prop Beaver, would you like to talk Minnesota, Toronto?
Yeah, I feel like how do you not go with the Twins here? I mean, I think this line's a bit insane. How are the Twins not at least like -120 favorites here? Like I understand you say Kikuchi's at home. Kikuchi's an absolute beast at home, but the Minnesota Twins are using and abusing left-handed pitching right now. And I mean, Kikuchi's has had a bad home start against the Twins. I believe it was last year or 2 years ago. I mean, he's had some shaky. Yeah, he's had a shaky start or two against his Twins team. I mean, the one concern here is that the Jays themselves are also waking up a bit against righties. I think we've seen them hit or at least get a few runs off the last 4 or 5 righties they've seen. But the one thing that gives me a bit of confidence in this matchup is the fact that Joe Ryan, the past 2 years, his worst split has been on the road against righties. That's why we saw him struggle a bit the previous time he faced the Jays. This year, that's been his best split. He has been dominating right-handed batters. He's been great on the road. I think he could go into Toronto and have a really good outing here against this Toronto team that, sure, has shown some life lately, but overall, we know is not that great of a lineup. And then once we get to the later innings, not only do I think we have the better bullpen, but we have the number 1 offense in the league from innings 6 to 9. So I think if you're getting the Twins at the cheap price with the way they're rolling right now, how do you not play them here? It almost feels a little too square for me, but I don't know. I'm willing to hear what you guys have to say. They're on my personal maybe list as well. I'm just waiting to see what you guys have to say.
Your maybe list, not your watch list. Your maybe list.
Yeah, they're on my maybe list. I'm not afraid to say I have a maybe list. Kyle's like, it's a watch list.
I just thought it sounded weird. But yeah, it's hard to argue with what Prop Beaver said about in innings 6 through 9. Minnesota is the number 1 offense in innings 6 through 9. They've crushed bullpens, and the Blue Jays bullpen has been such a disappointment. We kind of gave them a pass when Swanson and Romero were hurt. Well, now Swanson and Romero have been back for a few weeks now, and they're still a bottom 5, bottom 7 bullpen. So the Blue Jays bullpen has not come through. That being said, I like Kikuchi. This sucks. What do you think, Modai?
Yeah, I took the under here in this one as well, mostly just backing Kikuchi, who's an absolute stud, and the Toronto bats just really haven't been that great against right-handed pitching. And I do think that like Joe Ryan is kind of similar, not to the same extent as Brandon Pfaadt, but his advanced stuff. Sorry, I'm fumbling with my words. His advanced analytics are really, really good. Like he's got a ERA of 2.72, which is good, obviously, but an xERA of 2.95, a FIP of 2.33, and an xFIP of 2.88. Those are all really good numbers. A barrel rate of 6.4%, that's super low. His Sierra, which is this new stat that's supposed to be a more true metric of ERA, whatever, that's at 311. That's at a super low number. Sorry, I just read out Kikuchi's numbers. Sorry. Totally forget everything I just said.
This guy sucks.
Also, Sierra's not.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Okay. Joe Ryan also does have good advanced stuff, so we're good. His ERA is 3.54. That shows he's getting more unlucky. We're going to start this over. xERA of 2.45, FIP of 3.02, and xFIP of 3.11. Those are all good numbers, and like I said, I'm not impressed with the Toronto bats. So I apologize for the mess up, but I still like Joe Ryan, and then obviously Kikuchi's an absolute stud.
On the next episode of Incorrect Stats, we'll bring up Toast. Toast.
It's Twins or pass for me. There's no way in hell I bet the Blue Jays coming home from a road trip, regardless if they had a day off or not. This bullpen is one of the worst in baseball. And Kikuchi, his last 2 starts against Minnesota at home, 9 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs. I mean, so Joe Ryan isn't a guy that I'm like in love with, but at the same time, this Twins team is absolutely rolling right now. They just put up an 11 piece on Seattle and Logan Gilbert, which I understand that Seattle's bad, but Logan Gilbert has been one of the best road pitchers in Major League Baseball over the last 3 years. And so they absolutely destroyed him. I just have a hard time believing that they don't put some runs up on the board here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I'll put Twins up, but I'm not going to bet this one. But it's really hard to argue with what you guys are saying about the Twins. I mean, the Twins have been red hot. The Blue Jays bullpen's been terrible. What evidence is there that the Blue Jays are going to get to Joe Ryan? Even though I don't even think Joe Ryan's that good. But still, the Blue Jays against a righty is not a lineup I trust in any way, shape, or form. So I guess Twins are past. This won't make the list.
I don't know why it's but I don't know why it's like a hesitance thing for us. I feel like this should be on all our lists, and I feel like all 3 of us are hesitant, and we're not putting it on.
Because Kikuchi at home, man, the Twins should have 0 runs.
Pretty nice. Yeah. I'm also just not the biggest Joe Ryan guy, like Toast said, honestly, either. I don't know why.
It'll be Twins or pass. I'm not betting this shit.
A much bigger Joe Ryan guy than a Pablo Lopez guy, I'll tell you that.
There was somebody in the comments yesterday was like, he was like so like offended about the Pablo. He's like, why all the Pablo hate? Like he was like,
No, Pablo's a good pitcher. It's just like, dude, sometimes this dude just goes and like he does the complete opposite of what he's supposed to, and it's very frustrating.
Also, Kyle, I'm gonna have to leave in like 15 minutes. This is going a lot longer than I thought it would, and I have field passes to the Dodgers game tonight.
all right. Well,
That's
we got well, whatever. Just tell me. Just when you gotta leave, just let us know.
Oh no, I was just giving you a heads up, so it wasn't
All
like
right,
peace.
Phillies on the road. Ranger Suarez making a road start against the Fish.
So this is what I did. I parlayed the Phillies and the Rangers together for a half a unit at plus 139. Again, I'm not in love with Ranger Suarez. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Ranger Suarez has been fantastic. There's no question about that. I don't know. This line just seems weird to me. I don't know. It just something doesn't seem right to me. It feels like, yeah, maybe it's my uncle who's in my head because he's on Miami money line. But I don't know. This something doesn't seem right to me here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ranger Suarez has been really good. He also doesn't. He had 2 starts against Miami in Miami last year, and he gave up 18 hits total. So I understand that Miami's really, really bad. I get that, but I don't know. Something doesn't seem right to me. But I just, again, I have a hard time. All that said, I have a hard time seeing the Phillies losing this game. So I paired the 2 teams that I didn't think that would lose today together.
Lodi, what do you think?
Yeah, I took the Phillies minus 1.5. That's probably super square like the Yankees, but I love Ranger Suarez. And like he did get hit up by the Marlins last year, but he was a much different pitcher last year than he's been this year. And even in the playoffs, he was a lot better. Like it was just a bad regular season for him last year where he was banged up. And I know that the Marlins have been hitting lefties better recently, but it's more so also a fate of Trevor Rogers, who's terrible. 5.02 expected ERA, 4.21 expected FIP. Like nothing about him shows anything good. Barrel rate of 8.6, hard hit percentage of 46.6. All those numbers are terrible. The Phillies offense has been really hit or miss against lefties. Like at one point a month ago, you didn't want to touch them against lefties, and then they were on fire. They've been mostly middle of the pack. Or top 10, I should say, I guess, over the past 2 weeks against lefties. So it's not like they've been terrible. So it's backing Ranger and it's fading Trevor Rogers in this one. So yeah, Phillies minus 1.5.
And just let me clarify, the reason that I said I'm not in love with it is because I got the Phillies last night at like 188, and it's still at that same price, and the world's betting them. So that's the only reason why I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, prop Beaver. So look, if you look at obviously we're polling at 86% Phillies. Everyone's betting the Phillies here. The line was at plus 165 for the Marlins this morning. It's in the last 4 hours, it's moved 7 cents on the dollar towards Miami. So there's definitely either sharp action coming in on Miami or whatever. But look at the total, 7.5. It seems like odds makers trust Ranger Suarez, but they think Trevor Rogers is going to pitch a good game.
Deal too, yeah.
I was one of the sick bastards trying to fade the Phillies here.
Yeah,
I was trying.
I get it.
I was either trying to take the Miami money line or like the Miami team total over 2.5. Actually, Miami team total over 2.5, minus 125. Hit that 4 straight against lefties at home. That's the angle, by the way. If you like Miami in this game, they've now hit up 4 straight lefties at home. Patrick Corbin, who's ass, obviously, but Patrick Corbin always had good history against Miami, so that's intriguing. They hit up Mitchell Parker. Actually, you could argue that was Mitchell Parker's worst start this year was at Miami. Kyle Harrison, who's been really good, they cranked, and Chris Sale, they cranked. So they've hit up 4 lefties in a row at Miami. That'd be the argument. What I did, I went with Ranger Suarez under 4.5 Ks. You can still get that at minus 135 at Hard Rock. The dude's been excellent thus far with the K stuff. He's over 5 of 7 starts, averaging 6.6. So why is his total a full K below his average and juice to the under here? Well, 4 of those 5 came at home. And looking at Suarez's numbers going back to 2022, sure, he's over his last 11 of 16 home starts, averaging 6.3. But he's also under his last 12 of 16 road starts, averaging 4.9. Suarez has also not had the best history of racking up Ks at Miami. In his last 4 starts at Miami, he's fallen under each time, averaging 3.8. Even with Arias gone, a man with great plate discipline, Suarez owns just a 22.6 K percentage against the Miami current lineup, 75 plate appearances, and most of those likely came in his 10K performance at home last September against them. Now he's on the road, as we previously mentioned. Miami sits 7th in K percentage versus lefties at home through the first 7 innings. That's at just 17%, and 7 of 9 starting lefties to visit Miami have gone under the total. If we look at Miami Marlins against his pitch mix from starting lefties, 8th best in K percentage. What's really helpful is that Avisail Garcia got hurt. He's got a 28 K percentage. So sure, they lost Luis Arias, but now that Avisail Garcia is out of the lineup, they do bring in Dane Myers. He has a much lower K percentage than Garcia does. Yeah, I just think that when you look at some of the other lines, they have his hits allowed at 5.5, 4.5 is used heavily to the over. With 5+ hits allowed, Suarez is under 13 straight road starts. So yeah, I'm fading Suarez here. I wanted to fade him in some way. I knew I had to do it some way. I think this is the best way to do it. He can still have a good start, but still go under the Ks.
Well, I like what everyone's saying, and I think it could be.
I think that number's at 5.5. Just to be, I think it's at 5.5, not 4.5. Right?
Yeah, it's 5.5. If it was at 4.5 and I was getting -130, I'd be pissed.
All right. So I like what everyone's saying, and I think it could be a scary spot for the Phillies. But I'm not betting the Marlins. I'll go right here, and I'm putting this on the list. Phillies.
Yeah,
Marlins
I get it.
Under 7.5.
I'm glad that Beaver said that because I was wondering if I was just overthinking that or not. But I'm glad. So I'm glad.
Final score 5-1 Phillies.
I'll take that.
5 Suarez Ks. Then we're all happy.
All right, let's
I'll
move on
take
to
that as
the
well.
the next game, which is Washington-Boston. Toast.
Yes, I would love to go. I'll be on the Nats money line. I bet it already. Yeah. First and foremost, is Tanner Houck very, very good? Absolutely. There's no question about that. I just think that this price for Boston, I know you guys are going to hate me when I say it, but it's a play on the number for the Nats for me. Again, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't understand how Boston can be that big of a favorite. I understand that Tanner Houck is very good, but he's going to go to the 5th, maybe 6th inning, and then we're going to get multiple shots at that Boston bullpen that I understand has been decent over the last couple weeks, but at the same time, I don't really trust them still. This Nats team continues to impress me. The way that they've been playing baseball, 6-4 their last 10, 11-9 their last 20, 16-14 their last 30. I understand that that's not super impressive, but when you take in the fact that we're getting lines like this at a constant rate, I'll take my chances. Keep in mind, they just played a really close series against Baltimore. They won the first game. They lost the second game by 1 in 12 innings. They continued to come back. This Nationals team is very, very impressive. I understand that Patrick Corbin can be scary, but last year he faced this Boston team at home. I will give you what it was at home, but he went 6 innings, only gave up 4 hits and a run. So I'm not super worried that Patrick Corbin's going to get hit up here. So yeah, I'm on the Nationals money line today.
Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I can't really argue it. I mean, that is a massive price, and I mean, who the hell is Boston to be laying that juice? Yeah. So
Boston
for this
team
one,
1200 at home.
I was so excited. I was like Charlie running home with the golden ticket. I thought I had found the golden play. Tanner Houck over 5.5 Ks. We got everybody and their mother going over their Ks against the Nationals lately. It's beautiful. And then I see the lineup. Victor Robles back from the IL. Nick Senzel out of the lineup. Fuck me. Nick Senzel's been striking out at a 60% rate the last 2 weeks against righties. He has been the main reason why everybody's been going over their thing. So I just don't have a play for this game. I'm absolutely devastated. I thought that was going to be a gold mine right there. We were getting a discount because the Nats at the beginning of the season were good at not striking out because he wasn't in the lineup, and now he's been in the lineup lately. But he's back out. Those lucky bastards. They get to live another day.
Still winning.
They get to live another day.
Modak, do you co-sign Toast Nationals bet?
I don't know about if I would take that. I mean, plus 178, I can't, or 178, I can't argue with that. But I actually did something here. So I took no home run at plus 340 odds. I'm going the anti-Dom route.
A dongless?
I'm going to
Wow.
Dongless game for this.
Very
one.
modern of you.
Sometimes you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and that's what I'm doing with this one.
Hey, I love that. Patrick Corbin isn't giving up homers this year.
Exactly. And it's plus 340. So I put a quarter unit on this one to be clear about unit sizing. It's the worst game of the day from a weather perspective for home runs to be hit. It's cold, it's wind blowing in, and Patrick Corbin, as bad as he is, does not give up any home runs. He's got an incredibly low home run per 9 of 0.96. His fly ball ratio is 28.2%. That is really, really low. He's also got a pretty low launch angle, like 9.2 is low. And then the Red Sox have the 4th lowest team ISO rate against left-handed pitching. So they don't hit for power against lefties either. And then Tanner Houck is amazing. Like his home run stats, I mean, all his stats are amazing, but his home run per 9 is 0.2. That's his home run per 9, 4.8% barrel rate, 4.9 degree launch angle. And his fly ball ratio is 23.4%. And the Nats have the second lowest team ISO rate against righties. So like in a horrible weather game with two pitchers that don't give up a lot of home runs against teams that don't hit for a lot of power, I think you're getting really good value at plus 340. So unit size responsibly. Again, I put a quarter unit on this one, but it's a way to play home runs with a dead baseball in a bad weather game. You just bet no home run.
Look, there are times and places to put your faith in Patrick Corbin.
Where's your shirt or your hat?
Not wearing it today. This is a Boston minus 1.5 spot. My man Patrick is going to get tattooed tonight. I like playing Patrick Corbin in spots where the line's a little sketchy, where this isn't that. I mean, this is at minus 200 earlier this morning, so all the way up to minus 215 now. Fenway Park is not a spot I want to bet Patrick Corbin. I think he's going to get crushed tonight, so I actually might bet this and be fade toast on this one and be on the other side with Boston minus 1.5. That's on the list. It's really hard to pass up the most profitable team in Major League Baseball at plus 178, though. I will give you that.
I'm just going to keep on riding my Nats train by myself and enjoying it. I've been enjoying my stay.
He said that's so sad. I'll be by myself.
They got
the mentors coming.
Prop Beaver, would you say Mets money line or Mets minus 1.5 here?
The way I would be leaning is Uncle Charlie's under in K's.
No. Under in K's. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. No. I jumped to conclusions.
No. What? Like what? What the hell are you talking about?
The Mets own Charlie.
Yeah, we are an owner of Charlie. In terms of the K stuff, I mean, yeah, he's gone under. I mean, he's gone over 3 of his last 8 times against them. Most of those were at home. The guy's now under his last 2 or 3 at Citi Field, 3, 4, and 6. He only had 4 in the previous start he had against them at home. Now he's going to be on the road facing them. Almost makes me a bit weirded out about this line, to be completely honest with you. But I think it's because we have JD Martinez in the lineup. He has a bit of a higher K percentage. I still think that's completely unjustified because even with Mr. Martinez in the lineup, the Mets are just not striking out much right now against right-handed pitching. I mean, if you go ahead and you look at the last 2 weeks, sure, JD Martinez striking out at a 31% rate. So is Mr. Beatty. But past that, I mean, the entire rest of the lineup is 20% or below. That's really, really good. We're getting plus 120 for the under at 5.5. On top of that, we also have Mr. Libka as the home plate umpire here. Another factor that I like working for us is the fact that there's a bit of weird weather in this one. Could be a delay. I think the delays work against pitchers. From what I've seen in games, you don't want to take a pitcher out of their little routine. Delays work against pitchers. Once they're out of the routine, it's not a good thing. So, yeah, I think that if you're going to get plus money to fade more and on the road, a 40-year-old, I mean, how long can he keep doing this shit? It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I will fade him at night at 40 years old to go under a 5.5K total against one of the best lineups and not striking out.
Modi, I was scrolling through the graphics and I spy a dong in here.
Yeah, it's pretty ironic that it comes after a no-dong play. But yeah, we do have one. Marcell Ozuna, plus 450 odds. It's crazy getting Marcell Ozuna against a lefty at plus 450. I get it. It's because of the weather. And it's because Quintana hasn't given up a ton of home runs to right-handed hitters. But yeah, I mean, I love this play. Like Ozuna had a drought where he didn't hit a home run in 11 straight games. Since then, he's hit at least 1 home run in 2 of his last 3 games, including the last game he played on Wednesday. He hit 2 in that game, so they had the day off yesterday. So we're hoping to just catch him in the middle of a heater. And his advanced stats are really good. I'm going to list the same ones that I always list when I talk about a home run play. But it's ISO rate of 32.4%, barrel rate of 16.7%. Both of those are in the excellent category. He's got an average exit velocity of 95.3 miles per hour, meaning every time he makes contact with the ball, it's considered a hard hit. It's got a fly ball ratio of 66.7%. 2/3 of the time, he's getting a fly ball, and his launch angle is like right within the sweet spot of what you want for a home run. It's at 24.4 degrees. That basically means that every time he's making contact, he's averaging a hard hit. And the sweet spot for launch angle is 25 to 35 degrees in terms of launch angle. His is right below the 25 number. So he's doing like everything on average is like his the good home run metrics every time he makes contact with the ball. And Ozuna is better against left-handed pitching. His ISO rate specifically against lefties is at 30.6%. Technically, he has a higher ISO rate against righties, but if you look at like basically every other metric, it's better against lefties. So I'm guessing that's gonna flip, and you're gonna see his ISO rate start to be better against lefties than against righties. So plus 450, like I get that the weather is not great, but it's not terrible either. And like based on all his other metrics, is phenomenal for home runs.
I don't think the Braves are going to put up many runs tonight, but I wish you luck in your endeavor.
Just get one. That's all we need.
Yeah, you can get there with
Ozuna
one.
from the
Toast,
Braves.
Toast, you know what to do here, right?
Yeah, Braves money line. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. Mets money line. Mets money line, and I actually like the first 5 over 4 as well. I think that both teams might put up a couple early, but yeah, I do think that with the world on the other side, this is a decent spot for the Mets here because, I know I'm the Braves, like the resident Braves hater around here, but regardless, they're not playing very well right now. They're not hitting the same as they were at last year. They're 4-6 their last 10. Like, this isn't me being a Braves hater. This is just me being reality. They actually won a game for me the other night with Sale on the mound, so I was really happy for them. So, but the fact of the matter is, the last 5 times Charlie Morton has seen this Mets team, and that's not like it's going back a whole bunch of years. That's only going back to last year, 2023. He's given up 4 runs to them 3 of those 5 times. So, and a couple of those were at home. So on the road, I trusted even more that the Mets can get to him here. So Quintana, a little bit of, you never know what you're going to get from him, but at the same time, at home, he's been much better. I will give you, it has been against weaker teams, but at the same time, he didn't look terrible in Atlanta. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. So Mets with the bullpen behind him as well. Yeah, it's Mets money line and first 5 over for me.
Yeah, very simple. Bet the Mets against Charlie Morton. That's our son. We raised him. We birthed him. Mets money line.
I love you guys. I got to go, though.
Later.
All right.
Yeah.
See ya. I just wish Jose Quintana wasn't so booty McPiss. It'd be so much easier to back the Mets.
All right, let's talk.
That's how I would describe him as well.
He's not good, to put it kindly.
Did I write this right? It's White Sox, Cleveland, and a pick'em.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand any of this.
Oh,
I
good
passed. I had no idea what to do with
God.
this game. I passed.
I do.
I don't.
Cleveland.
I
mean, I just took the White Sox last night, plus 135. It was gorgeous. Thank you, Chicago.
I was saying.
But you're pushing it. You're pushing it here.
I think you're pushing it against a lefty. No, see, what's really annoying
Carrasco
is that,
on the road. I get it.
Yeah, I think this line, the total's down to like 7. Like, what? And everybody's on the over. My idea was like first 5 over. I mean, Garrett Crochet, he have like 2 good starts at the beginning year. He had a good recent start lately, I think, against the Twins. Like the second time he saw them in 2 weeks. One of those weird spots where you do good the first time, then you do horribly the second time, you do horrible the first time, then you do good the second time. One of those weird spots. Like, I don't know.
You say what'd you say? First half what?
Minus 120.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put it up on the screen.
That sounds free.
That's first half.
Over 3.5 minus 120. It sounds like I could take that to the window right now and cash it.
Hold on.
But that's why I'm not going to bet it, because that doesn't make sense.
I'm not putting that up. Let me get Modi back on the screen. Oh, it's because I did it should talk Beaver.
Okay, so can
yeah, it's because I did a screenshot. I was switching the screen, and when it does that, it cuts everyone's mic out for a second. So it probably went blank for about 30 seconds if I had to guess. But we should be good now.
All right.
It always happens when Beaver's talking and nobody else.
Good.
Point is, first 5 over 3.5 minus 120. I would have bet it. It's the most sus bullshit ever, but it's free. So it doesn't make. I don't get it. I don't know.
Mona, do you have anything for this weird game?
No, I don't.
Let's move on to the next one. 66% say Cleveland. Sorry for
If it's a high scoring game in the first 5, I'm gonna be pissed. There's no reason that total should not be at 8.5. That is ridiculous.
All right, Cardinals Brewers up next. I tried to warn you about Tobias Myers prop Beaver, and look, I'm not.
He didn't do shit yesterday. He was horrible.
I'm not an I told you so guy, but like I did
horrible.
say it.
But if I was, here's what I would say.
4 innings, allowed 7 base runners. Congratulations, Toby.
I'm not an I told you so guy, but like I told you, Tobias.
No, the only thing that I could tell myself is that AJ, you knew the Cardinals were a disgrace. You keep betting on them. So what are you? You're a disgrace. That's all I can say to myself.
Don't say that.
Hey.
But seriously, I did tell you. So did you see someone screenshotted Tobias Myers like baseball card and changed it to Harris on Twitter?
Yeah, I did see that.
Ugh, that's cursed.
Do you like Gasser here?
I don't know who the fuck Gasser is. I literally have no clue, to be completely honest with you.
Where's Toast to tell us about Gasser? He's probably like,
Yeah,
no, I mean, normally I have the time to look this. I was a bit behind today. I don't even have the slightest of a clue about Mr. Robert Gasser. He's a lefty. The Cardinals cannot hit a lefty to save their life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to do either. Modai?
Nope, nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't know who Gasser is either. To dude making his debut. That was profitable last year, betting on pitchers making their MLB debut. That being said, that doesn't mean I'm going to do it blindly.
Here's an angle. Like, if you want to bet on the Brewers bats producing at home, I mean, they looked shitty on their road trip. They got back home. They absolutely annihilated Sonny Gray. Before they went on the road trip, 3 runs off of Eflin, 4 off of Stroman, 5 off of Gill. So now they're back at home. They're facing Lance Lynn, a vulnerable pitcher. He's on the road. You got Gasser, a lefty. Maybe that would be an angle for a Brewers bet. If you need to take a bet. If somebody has your family hostage and says you need to put a wager on this game, that would be the way to go. Brewers.
Well, yesterday, Lance Lynn was originally supposed to pitch yesterday, and I wrote out a video for that game before it got delayed, and then Sonny Gray ended up pitching yesterday. And I liked the first 5 over. So I don't really have the notes in front of me, but I remember liking the matchup for the Brewers lineup against Lynn. That being said, don't know who Gasser is. Don't care enough to even look. Next game, Rangers are in Coors Field.
That they are. Wow.
Prop Beaver, what are your thoughts on John Gray making a road start in Coors Field?
My thoughts are that I wanted to fade him. I wanted to take the Rockies, and I'll tell you why. The Rockies. Where are my notes? Come on, don't scrub up right now. The Rockies are kind of hating righties. Last 10 to face them, 5.85 ERA, 1.3 home run per 9, 1.47 WHIP. Last 6 to face them in altitude, 7.10 ERA, 1.7 home run per 9, 1.87 WHIP. Ronel Blanco and Matt Waldron were the only 2 of the 6 righties to face them in altitude lately that have escaped with a quality start under their belt. So all of a sudden, Colorado's actually hitting right-handed pitching, which sounds absolutely nuts, but that is a real thing. They're hitting right-handed pitching. The issue is John Gray is used to this altitude. He used to play there for years and years and years as a Colorado Rocky in the beginning of his career.
A decade ago? Who cares?
His body's very used to the altitude. I think he knows how to pitch at course.
That
On top of that, he is very good against righties. Excellent against righties, some would say. I know Mr. Modai is about to go into it. 232 WOBA, 25K to BB percent is absolutely ridiculous. 292 XFIP. Rocky starts 7 of them daily, and that's what I think could keep them in check here. So I think Ray's actually going to pitch well in a revenge spot. First start back at Coors since becoming a member of the Rangers.
Revenge spot? Do you think he held a grudge for 15 fucking years? No, he wasn't. It was like how long ago?
I would be pissed if I got drafted by the Rockies too. I would be pissed.
Revenge spot.
You kept me in developmental hell for years. You had me pitch at your piece of shit stadium for years, ruined my numbers, and ruined my contracts. I'd be pissed at the Rockies for years.
So what do you like?
Denver's a great city.
So I like the first 5 under because I think Gomber is cruising along his last 5 starts. I think he can have a good game here too. I mean, the xFIP's working and is not working in his favor. It's saying he's lucky, but the Texas lineup against lefties is just doing nothing. 23rd WRC plus, 26th in ISO, 21st in OBP. That's where I go with this gross ass game.
Mr. Modai, I see you have a prop here. I saw a graphic.
Yeah, John Gray over 6.5 strikeouts. I'm not telling you whether he's going to pitch a gem or not, but I do think he's going to be able to strike out 7.
Don't say revenge spot.
It's a revenge narrative for him, right? Going against his former team, he's going to want to show out in front of his former home crowd. He has tons of positive memories in front of that home crowd that he's going to want to have everybody remember what it's like.
You guys live in fantasy land.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even know he used to play for the Rockies, if I'm being honest with you guys.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Because it was 2001.
It was 3 years ago.
No, it was not. It was at least 7 years ago.
This guy's older than Charlie Morton, apparently. Anyways, it's because the Rockies strike out a ton. They have the second highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, 29.7% of the time. Only behind the Mariners, and we all know how much of a joke the Mariners are. The Rockies have 6 guys in the lineup that are considered awful when it comes to how frequently they strike out, and that will be over 27.5% of the time. That's literally 2/3 of their lineup are awful in terms of strikeouts. 6 of 9. That's a very, very nice number. John Gray is not an elite strikeout pitcher, but his strikeout rate 25.5%. That's top 30 of all qualified pitchers. That would have been 18th best in the MLB. So I'm not saying he's like healthy Spencer Strider, but he's a decent enough strikeout pitcher. And he's going up against a team that strikes out literally the second most in the MLB against righties over the past 2 weeks. So for plus 130, I thought this was a good play.
I would probably go here. Let me get it up on the screen. Texas first 5 run line. The Rockies bats, I know they have some decent numbers recently, but no. John Gray in a revenge spot. He used to play for Colorado. No, Texas first 5 run line. I'm not putting it on my list.
Gotta back him in the revenge spot. Lots of animosity towards his club.
He doesn't give a shit about the Rockies.
Lots of animosity towards his club.
It's a revenge spot. He went to a Rockies game once with his dad when he was 9.
He played for the team for a long while. I would hate them too.
And according to you, took it to heart and has not let it go.
I would be pissed.
Royals, Angels up next in LA. Finally, a decent game to talk about, at least.
If that's what you want to call it, sure.
No, I mean it. But what I mean by decent game in baseball, though, isn't necessarily like 2 good teams. It's 2 pitchers we're familiar with and a reasonable line, as in it's not like minus 260. That's what at least like a fun game to handicap, I should say, rather than good game. That's probably the best way to. Because no one wants to handicap the games when the team's minus 260, and no one wants to handicap the games when you don't know the pitchers. So we know these 2 pitchers, and it's a somewhat close odds. That's what I meant by that. Anyway, you know what to do here, Prop Beaver, right? The can man.
Candy man can't. No, I
just want to make sure the Angels bullpen.
What you do is you first 5 under or you pass. I'm not going to be backing the Angels lineup again unless it's against a lefty. I've decided going forward. Kyle, you're on Fangraphs. Go to the Angels team, go to the roster resource, and then scroll to the injured list for their lineup. I refuse to back that team. It's just ridiculous at this point. There's no Mike Trout. There's no Rendon. There's no Rengifo. There's no who else? There's about 5 or 6 guys missing from this lineup that is already absolutely putrid. I mean, they're like, I feel like Ron Washington, no joke, is putting guys in spots so the team purposely fails. Like the other day against the Pirates, I was looking at the numbers historically for the lineup over the last 3 years, and he literally put the worst 2 bats against lefties as the leadoff and the second hitter in the lineup. It felt like self-sabotage. It literally felt like he was tanking. So I'm not betting on this team that is self-sabotaging. The Angels are absolutely pathetic right now. It's first 5 under 4.5 or pass. I know Alec Marsh is coming off an elbow injury. That sucks. I hate backing pitchers off an elbow injury because you never know what they're going to come out and look like the next start. But the Angels are so bad right now against righties, and honestly, I think Canning can have a good enough start against a Royals team that is bottom 5 on the road against righties, that the first 5 under 4.5 at a pretty decent price carries value. That's the only way I would bet this trash ass game.
I like the Angels here. Modi?
Yeah, I have another strikeout prop. I have Griff Canning under 4.5 strikeouts. The Royals just don't strike out. Sorry, the Royals just don't strike out, and Griff Canning has horrible strikeout stuff. He's got a strikeout rate of 16.8%. That's incredibly low. If he'd pitch enough innings to qualify, that would be the 8th lowest strikeout rate in the entire MLB. And he's only gone over this number in 2 of 7 starts this year. Normally when I see that, I want to fade that and bet the opposite of it, but not against this Royals team who don't strike out. They literally have the lowest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching in the entire MLB over the last 2 weeks. They only have 2 dudes in their lineup who strike out over 20% of the time. And that's not even that high of a number. Like, they have one guy over 30%, which is a high number. And the other guy is still considered average in terms of striking out. And everybody else is below 20%, which is really, really low. So getting this for plus money, I think, is crazy. And I'll gladly take advantage of it.
I like Griffin Canning at home a lot better than I like Marsh.
You need to get into the props then, because really what you should do is you should just be taking Griffin Canning.
No, you know what you should do is place your own bets and let me place mine. How about that?
You should eat a bag of shit, choke on it, die. I'll run the company.
We'd be out of business. We'd lose all our subscribers in 2
We'd
weeks.
be more successful than ever. We'd have more weirdos following us than ever, but we'd be more successful.
No, we'd be in the gutter. I am going to just go razor sharp here and play the Angels. Everyone in the world's betting the Royals here. Griffin Canning over Marsh. I'll take that. And I feel like people are a little too quick to reboard the Royals train. Yeah, they put together some decent hitting numbers in the last week or so. But as a whole, you rewind 6-7 days, this lineup was ice cold. And we're talking about betting a lineup that I don't think is very good on the road, where historically they're worse, with a disadvantage in the starting pitching department, and you're laying juice with it. Griffin Canning, really underwhelming so far this season. I'll give you that. But it seems like this is a perfect spot for him to get himself together. If you look at who he's pitched against, okay, at Cleveland, not great, but Phillies, Orioles, at Fenway, at Baltimore. I mean, dude's had a little bit of a rough go at it. So at home against a Royals lineup that I think is really overvalued, I like Griffin Canning to pitch here. I also wouldn't be mad at an Angels first 5 bet if you're scared of the Angels bullpen, which would make sense if you are. But, yeah, no one's going to like this bet. You can see we're polling at 83, 84% Royals. I'll hop on to Angels Island by my lonesome.
Griff Canning's peripherals are so doo-doo, though.
His peripherals?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Like his peripheral vision?
Like his K
Yeah, he can't
percentage,
see the
his
plate.
XFIP, his FIP, everything's poo-poo. He
He
also literally can't see the plate. It's evident in his work.
He can't see the plate. Duh.
He's like a Wild Thing from Major League when they needed to get him glasses.
Ricky Vaughn.
Yeah, there you go.
His peripherals. What are you talking about? All right.
That's what us experts use.
No one uses that.
Yes.
This is the game Toast just left to go to. He's going to the ballpark right now. Dodgers, Padres, and San Diego. So, I know Prop Beaver thinks Michael King's going to get hit up because we were talking about this game last night in the office before he left work. So, I don't know what his actual bet is, but I know he thinks the Dodgers are going to get to Michael King, which I guess isn't much of a stretch. You probably all thought that also. So, Prop Beaver, did you end up placing a bet? Dodgers team total over, Dodgers -1.5. What are you circling?
Nah, I don't really love this slate. I didn't play much. I would lean the over in this game. That's about it. The weather is not good in this game, which is what's keeping me off of it, making the ticket. But I would lean over 7.5 or pass. I think the Padres are more than capable of getting to Glass now. They have some really good numbers against his pitch mix, so I think they could put some runs up on him. I know that he's been excellent this season, but the Padres have performed really well against high-level pitchers. I think they could put some runs up on him. On the other side, you got Michael King. I'm not the biggest Michael King guy. Now the third time this season they're going to face him too. Problem is, I mean, look at that total. What the hell? 7.5. I feel like if they thought he was really going to get hit up, this would be at 8.5. So I don't know. Obviously, don't have a great read on this game.
I wouldn't be mad at an over here. I can see the Padres scoring some runs. on Glass now. But actually, I'll pass it over to Modi. Did I see 2 dongs in this game?
I do. I have 2 in this one. I technically only sent Prop Beaver 1 because I don't want to go over both. But yeah, I mean, I have Max Muncy and Shohei Ohtani. It's as square as it gets, but you'll never see Ohtani at plus 320, and you'll never see Max Muncy at plus 440 odds, especially when they're going up against a right-handed pitcher, who stinks. Both Ohtani and Max Muncy are significantly better against righties. 8 of Ohtani's 11 home runs this year have come against righties. For Muncy, 7 of his 9 home runs have come against righties. And look at this guy's stats. Michael King, he has a home run per 9 of 2.14, allows a barrel rate of 10%. Pretty high fly ball and pull rate as well. Ohtani has 9 at-bats against him, has taken him yard 3 times. Muncy has 6 plate appearances, 5 at-bats, because one time he got walked. He has 1 double and 1 home run against him. And both Ohtani and Muncy have incredible advanced stats. I mean, you look at anything barrel rate, ISO rate, average exit velocity, hard hit percentage, anything you look at, fly ball rate, it's all phenomenal for these two. So Prop Beaver's right. The reason why we're getting as good odds as we're getting is because of the weather. It's not ideal for home runs, but it's also not terrible. It's not among the worst 2 of the night. And they both can annihilate a baseball and it'll go yard, even in San Diego. So yeah, give me double dongs in this one.
So
it's better than 1 dog, double dongs.
I know that they've taken. I know that the Padres have taken, I think, 4 of the last 7 from the Dodgers or whatever. But still, dating back 2 or 3 years now, the Padres own this team, and I really don't like to make a habit of betting the Padres against the Dodgers because I think entering the season, the Dodgers were like 24-5 in their last 29 against the Padres or something. This is one of those where they always say it's not even a rivalry because it's so one-sided. So with Glass now on the mound, even though I don't think it's crazy for Prop Beaver to say the Padres are going to score some runs on Glass, now I could see it, but I like the Dodgers to get the king. So I also don't hate that over, but I would just go Dodgers minus 1.5, and I actually am going to add this one to the list. All right. Next game. We got 2 left. Oh, my God. Oakland, Seattle. And we're at night. Does that mean we can go back to the Vamps?
You want to fuck with the woo. I mean, I will say Mr. Blackburn has not been looking too sharp lately. I'll let Andy, not Andy, go first. Jesus Christ, sorry, that was such an insult. I'm so sorry, Modi.
Andy.
You go first.
I don't know who this Andy guy is, but geez.
He's a disgrace.
He's sitting right next to me.
Sounds like a great guy. Yeah, I have Blackburn over 5.5 strikeouts. It's against the Mariners. It's a system play at this point. If you have a right-handed pitcher against the Mariners, you could throw me and Prop Beaver on the mound. We could probably strike out 6 of these guys. They have the highest strikeout in the MLB over the last 2 weeks against right-handed pitching, 30.8%. They're the only team that has a strikeout rate above 30%, and they're almost at like 31. And people are going to see that Blackburn's only gone over this number in 1 start this year. He's gotten 5 strikeouts in 2 of his last 3 starts. And when you're going up against the Mariners, that's like 2 or 3 above what your season average is for strikeouts. 5 straight right-handed pitchers have gone over their strikeout number against the Mariners. 3 of the 5 have gotten to double digits, and their strikeout over-under was not 9.5, so they went over by a ton. And they have 7 guys in their lineup who strike out 28% of the time or more. 7 of 9. It's absolutely insane how much this team strikes out. And I've hit 2 strikeout props this week alone, backing a strikeout pitcher a pitcher strikeouts against the Mariners, and I'll do it once again.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I believe that Seattle is dead last strikeout rate, so it makes sense. Prop Beaver, the first question I asked when I looked at this pitching matchup, how many lefties in the lineup for Oakland? Because you remember that's Brian Woo's thing. He's awesome against righties, struggles against lefties, correct?
Yes, that is definitely Brian Woo's thing. There is 1, 2, 3. There's only 4 lefties in the lineup for Oakland.
So I guess
which is like an annoying amount.
I know.
What do we take from that? Yeah,
it's like I want it to be 2 or 3 or 8.
Yeah.
I'll just put a Mariners money line up. I'm not betting this though; it's too expensive.
Pretty much in the same boat here. I mean, the A's against a lefty, I'm a bit more attracted to betting them against. Against a righty, I mean, I don't know. Brian Woo's really good too. So, yeah.
Next, let's get to the last game here, which is Cincinnati, San Francisco. We end on a banger. Prop Beaver, not an Andrew Abbott guy.
He proves me wrong every time he goes out there somehow, that piece of shit.
Are you a Logan Webb guy?
Tonight, I absolutely am, yeah.
You like Webb?
It was Reed Detmer's bounce back night last night, and it was an absolute goddamn disaster. So I'm hoping it's not the same tonight for Mr. Logan Webb. I took Logan Webb under 2.5 earned runs. The only book that still has that available for an affordable price, minus 135, is DraftKings. So I'm not even going to talk about that because I would just be wasting your guys' time. What I would opt for is instead is Mr. Logan Webb to record a win at plus 180. Wow. Yeah, I just think that the Giants are in a good spot to win this game. I mean, Logan Webb on the mound at home facing the Reds, a lineup that just is breaking boundaries and how to be bad at hitting baseballs. I think they're 30th in pretty much every category against righties over the last 2 weeks. The only thing that it's helping them is the fact that they have some lefties in the lineup. They think they have 6 lefties, and Webb has been a lot more vulnerable against lefties. But if you look at him at home, it doesn't matter who he faces, lefty, righty, he's absolutely dominating. He's been holding guys in check to 2 or less runs at home pretty much his entire career. Since 2021, I think he has a 2.29 ERA and a sub-3 xFIP at home too. So this is just really where you want to back Logan Webb. He's coming off 2 bad starts, one at Fenway against a Boston team that's actually been a lot better against righties than most people would think. And then the other one was at Philadelphia. I mean, the Phillies are killing right-handed pitching. Can we even blame the guy? They've hit some really high-profile righties. Now you're back at home facing one of the worst lineups in baseball. If he gets hit up here, then we need to have a discussion. But I think he could deal here. On the other side, you got to Abbott. I still think he's one of the luckier pitchers in baseball. I don't get it. His xFIP was really high before his last 2 starts, but then his xFIP in his last 2 starts was good. So I don't know if we're starting to see some legitimate improvements, but this is Giants offense. If you're going to back them, you want to do so against lefties. They're at home. They got their bullpen rested. I think that Webb could leave this game with the lead, and the bullpen can hold it because the Reds are the worst offense in the later innings, I believe, over the last month or the last 2 weeks. So
they're the worst offense in any inning.
So, yeah. So, at plus 180, that'd be the way I play this.
I might be down to just drink the juice here and play the Giants on this money line. I don't care about the line movement. I don't care if it's square. You got Logan Webb at home where he's historically better in a much-needed bounce-back spot against a Reds lineup that absolutely sucks. This is the worst lineup in baseball. Actually, I mean, maybe the Pirates have taken that honor, but the Reds are a close second. They're so bad right now. They're so bad it gets right into pitching. I love the spot for Logan Webb. I like the Webb to record a win. And I also, although I hate this Giants lineup and don't trust them at all, I trust them slightly more against a lefty in Andrew Abbott. Again, that doesn't mean I think the Giants are going to light the scoreboard up. But yeah, I'm going to write this on the list. I'm actually going to take Dodgers minus 1.5 off. I like Giants money line better. So I might just put a full unit on the Giants money line with the minus 148. Sounds good to me. Modai?
Yeah, my second and last no home run play is this one. It's plus 310. The second worst game of the day from a home run perspective, or from a weather perspective, 4 home runs. The only one that's worse was the Red Sox one we talked about earlier. It's backing Logan Webb, who's a great pitcher, against a horrible lineup. The risk here is Andrew Abbott. He's given up 4 home runs in his last 2 starts. That was one of them was against the Orioles. You can't really fault him for that. Another one was against the Rangers, who haven't been as good this year than they were last year, obviously, but obviously still is a potent lineup. And the Giants have the 3rd lowest team ISO rate against left-handed pitching. So even though if you want to say they're better against lefties, they don't hit for power. And then the Reds, like I said, they're not really hitting that well either. And Logan Webb just does not give up anything deep. Absurdly low home run per 9 of 0.39. Launch angle of 1.7. That's ridiculous. Fly ball rate of 17.6%. It's crazy how good his home run stuff is, Logan Webb specifically. So if you wanted to be a little bit safer and get not as good odds, but a safer pick, you could take Reds no home run. But I just took the
Reds
full
no
game.
runs.
Yeah, Reds get shut out. Sure, yeah, even better. But yeah, so just need one of these no home run plays to cash, and you're squarely in the green. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I put a quarter unit on both, so definitely unit size responsibly.
Cool. Let's talk community parlay and get the hell out of here. All right. So first up, we got Cubs Pirates. They like the Cubs. Astros Tigers. They like the Tigers with us. Yankees Rays. They like the Yankees. Diamondbacks Orioles. They like the Orioles. All right. What's the first leg of the community parlay? Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Are we still talking about TJ McConnell, bro? We're past that. No more McConnell. It's not.
Someone's just asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still take, I'm assuming the odds are reasonable, I would still take him at 17.5. He's going to put up probably 30-point triple-double, so I still think it's probably pretty good at 17.5.
You guys forgot who TJ McConnell is, I swear to God.
Sixers legend.
Yeah, definitely a legend. You guys have set the bar set really low on what's a legend.
No shame.
The most treasured athlete out of the city is a fictional boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I love those movies.
The first one is a good movie. Everyone after that sucks.
The second one was good.
What?
What was the one where he fought the Russian dude? That one,
That's
I like
4.
that one.
That's 4, and it sucks.
No, that was 4. What was 3?
3 was Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Oh, and the first two were Apollo.
Yeah, he loses to Apollo, then he beats Apollo. He loses to Apollo, good movie. He beats Apollo, shit movie.
So every time he wins a fight, the movie sucks.
Well, no, the Rocky 1 is a great movie with like an awesome story, great film. Rocky 2 through 4 is literally just a training montage and a fight scene with a cool soundtrack.
4 was awesome.
It's literally the whole movie is a training montage in Russia and then a long fight scene. That's the entire movie. Apollo Creed dies
great.
in the ring.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, he kills him. Kills him with his boxing gloves on.
He's
And
hitting
he
so
goes up
hard.
there and he runs in the snow for an hour to an 80s soundtrack. The movie sucks, bro.
You're a hater.
I'm
You
not
hate
a
TJ
hater.
McConnell.
Rocky
You hate Rocky.
Rocky 1 is an unbelievable movie. I could rewatch Rocky 1 100 times. It's a great movie, great story. I just want to go to distance. But Rocky 2 through 4, like, just spare me the bullshit.
Spare me.
You're more of a Rocky 5 guy.
Billy
What's
Gunn?
wrong with it?
Yeah, you got the
Three.
collector's bucket for that one.
Honestly, Rocky 5 gets too much hate. I don't think it's that much worse than Rockies 2 through 4. It's bad, but like people act like Rocky 2 through 4 is sick and Rocky 5 sucks. Like, no, 2 through 5 suck. I want you to rewatch Rocky 4 and really watch what happens in that movie. You're going to be like, oh, shit, it's literally just a training montage and a fight scene. Like, that's the whole movie.
You can say that about every Rocky movie, though.
Not one. One is a whole ass story, man. It's a great movie.
I mean, I'm not going to argue against 1. I just think that I don't even remember the third one, to be honest with you.
It's a training montage and a fight scene. Mr. T beats him because he's not taking the fight seriously. It's the same story over and over again, bro. Shit movie, shit city.
You had to add that last part. What about Creed?
I don't know much about the. I tried watching it a couple times, couldn't get into it. But I didn't. I'm not like a hater. I won't just like say I didn't like it because I tried to watch it twice. And, you know when like you put something on but you're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
I tried watching it twice and it didn't grab me either time. That being said, I didn't watch far enough to have an opinion. I won't hate on it.
I thought they were good. I've seen all 3 of them.
Well, judging by the fact you like Rockies 2 through 4, I'd say your judgment is horseshit.
I bet you like Gran Turismo, too.
Never seen that movie.
Our coworker likes it, and I judge him for it every day. It really looked like the worst trailer I've ever seen. And he's like, "No, it's a great film."
That movie comes up in the office like twice a week. Like, oh yeah, you like Gran Turismo?
No, because when I saw that trailer, I was like, "Holy shit, movies are dying!" And when Andy saw it, he was like, "Holy fuck, I gotta see that!" What? The duality of man, like it's just crazy.
That's funny.
Poor Andy, he can't defend himself. He doesn't have a mic.
Yeah.
He's sitting here just listening to this.
He's just getting roasted.
All right.
I mean,
First and second from this poll. First place from this poll finishes out the community parlay. Sorry for the rambling about movies. We're film buffs.
Yeah, but what are we supposed to do when we're doing the people voting anyways?
We're supposed to cheer them on.
B. Felsk said that it looked so bad, but it's actually a good movie, Gran Turismo. Justin Charles said Gran Turismo should have won an Oscar.
Hold on one sec.
I agree.
Hold on one sec. Let me mute. What is his name? B. Phelps?
Yeah, time to block it.
Time to start monitoring the people in this chat.
It's just like the main actor's like, Uncle Rice! It's just a bunch of screaming. I don't know.
I put it in the comments, but the book for no home runs is on FanDuel. Just if you type in no home run, it'll pop up for every single game. You could just scroll through it. I did put it in the chat, but in case someone didn't see it.
TJ McConnell was in Gran Turismo. I agree.
It looks like all the comments like all the Rocky movies, and I've suddenly lost respect for my own audience.
Wow. Oi.
Rocky 1, unbelievable movie. One of my favorite movies, Rocky 1. But I want you to really rewatch Rocky 2 through 4 and really watch the story and what happened to that movie. You might be like, yeah, this is kind of fucking stupid. All right. What's the odds on this?
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I don't have an underdog today because they didn't have some of my bets available.
No problem.
So.
Community parlay: Cubs money line, Phillies money line, Dodgers money line, Yankees money line plus 808. Thanks everyone for watching. Tomorrow morning, be back in between 11 and 11:30, depending if we're doing NHL. The goal is to start at 11:30, but if we do NHL, I'll start at like 11:15 so we could incorporate that. So around 11:30 tomorrow morning, I will post my MLB bets on KyleKirms.com, and I will be in the Discord for most of the night, too, because I have 2 NBA videos to get up, so I'll be working tonight. So if you need me, hit me up in the Discord. Let's have ourselves a great Friday night. Let's go New York Knicks and TJ McConnell. May the force be with you tonight. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good one.